From the heart of the city to the outer edges of the Beltway and beyond, this is the District of Misfits show, the drinking show with a podcast problem. This is your guide into our unique and beautiful city, the good, the bad, the ugly, as well as the funny and straight up ridiculous. Told by us before someone tells it for us. The opinions expressed on this show are our own, and we make no apologies. What's up, heathens? Happy Sunday to you. Welcome to another episode of the District of Misfits show, the drinking show with a podcast problem, the podcast for the rest of us. I am your boy Crushing Boo here with my cohorts, Marcus, Val, and Jamie. What is poppin', y'all?
What's going on, guys?
Poppin'.
What's up, my friends? What's up?
What's happening?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to make a Rocket Man joke at all right now. No. So again, we're adults.
Like
we're starting off as adults today.
Rocket Man like Elton John? Or Rocket
Rocket Man like Elton John.
Poppers. Gotcha.
There's that double entendre right there.
Yeah, we haven't even.
Don't even ask me how.
Portion of the show. Here we are.
This is how we start.
You said starting off as adults?
Starting off as adults, I say.
I don't know.
The second my camera came on, I was like, don't make a gay joke.
Okay.
And then
So before you guys run screaming for the hills, we would like to take this opportunity to invite you to smash those like buttons, drop kick those share buttons, tell your friends and frenemies alike to like and share us on Facebook and Instagram, the District of Misfits show. On Twitter, we are at DC Misfits. You can go to our YouTube channel, the District of Misfits show, and subscribe to our channel, where you'll get this show along with a lot of other really amazing shows that are being produced through District Dogface Studios. On Twitch, District of Misfits. And if you want to help us out, financially support us, you can go to crushingdc.com and purchase some of our gear there. And then, also, if you're interested in doing a podcast of your own or being a guest on this show, you have a cause or an event or something you'd like to promote, reach out to us at the District of Misfits show at gmail.com.
Yes.
Marcus, what is going on this week?
Nice docket. We got the amazing, wonderful Marcus Dowling. The pasteurized chef makes a discovery, and fuck that shit.
Another installment of fuck that shit.
We're really excited.
Right on. Well, yeah. So welcome to our show. And I guess if you want to find me on social media, you can catch me Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, sometimes TikTok, at Crushing Boo on all platforms.
And you can find me, the Rocket Man, pasteurized chef, on all platforms.
You can find me on the Book of Face at Valerie Michelle Torres with 2 L's in the Michelle. And on Instagram and Twitter, but I'm not on Twitter really, at VMTDC.
Val, we got to get you a Ricola.
I have
right, that's it.
You're not going to make
some.
it through the show. If you're this bad, that's it, this far in. I meant to tease you during pre-production, but
I felt bad.
got distracted. But like, yeah, you're going to be.
I have a concoction that'll help me.
Oh.
I thought you were going to say concussion. Like 2 of you, goddamn.
That's the other one.
All right, yeah, let's get this out of the way. Livs instantly on Instagram, Bar Simpson on Twitter, James Roderick on Facebook, and there we go.
God damn.
Done.
Yep, Jamie got hacked this week, so he's.
I got hacked.
Yeah, what happened?
How, Jamie?
What happened?
You know what? I got this notification at like 4:00 in the morning. Did you sign in from Russia?
Were you a Russian?
And I was like, sure the fuck didn't. And then like I went to go like get on my password stuff, dude. They changed my phone number, they changed my email, like all the whole 9 yards. I mean, they took my account. Like that is it. Then when I contacted Facebook, they were like, you don't have enough information to change it. I was like, well, that's that. There's a since 2005 Facebook page that's just over.
That happened to another friend of mine, and the dude who took over his hey Greg, the guy who took over, or whoever it was that took over his original account, started messaging people, like randomly messaging me. He messaged me a handful of times, and I
the thing about the money and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone's been.
Yeah.
Like no one's giving out money. What the like? Russia, stop. We're not that dumb.
Dude, it's a pandemonium. We're all just getting back to work. Like there ain't no money.
Right.
Like,
right on. Yeah. That was your fun week. What you do?
Well, it's been 2 weeks since we all saw each other. So we survived the 4th of July. I've just been spending a lot of time trying to swim as much as I can and fucking driving. A lot of driving.
You know, speaking of 4th of July, there was a gentleman I met this weekend. On the 4th, I went to a friend of mine's rooftop, and I met a guy. He was sitting in his hallway, and like tragic as it is, like full on PTSD. And I always forget about this on the 4th of July, like the gentlemen who served their country or the women who served their country, and then the fireworks go off, and it's got to be like the torturous. Like I sat there with him for like 20 minutes. Just because he was just in the hallway, just sitting, like just had to get away. You know what I mean? So yeah, that hurts.
Well, that's your good thing of the week.
I did something right.
Yeah. What about you, Marcus? How was your week?
Well, I got sick this week, so I got tested. I thought I might have had the COVID, but I didn't. But that is be part of my story time too. So I'm going to keep it short here, and I'll treat it in my story because that's when the pasteurized chefs made an amazing discovery. Amazing discovery.
Your balls dropped.
Your balls dropped.
If anything.
Well, no, maybe. Is there a way we can put up a poll? We can have people like
comment,
give their suggestions of what they think it is.
Just put it in the comment section. I'll fucking post it.
Put up a poll.
What do you think that I discovered this
what
week?
Do you think Marcus discovered? It's something
he
medical.
Found that male G spot.
Found
that male G spot.
It's medical. It's medical, and everybody who knows me knows I've done pretty much every medication that might be out there. Keep it in that lines. You'll figure it out.
Right on.
So you did find the male G spot.
I found that on you a while ago, Jamie.
Hey,
So
I'm a
Val,
giver.
how's your week? How'd you lose your voice?
So
That's what we all really
I mean,
want to know.
it's not very exciting. I'm very prone to sinus infections because of my allergies, and inevitably when I get like a really bad sinus infection, I lose my voice.
Where you
So
don't
that's
take
what
your
happened.
medicine for that?
Right. So it's because I don't I forget to take my medicine a couple of days, and then I end up with a sinus infection, and then it like travels to my throat, and then I lose my voice. And it didn't help that like right around the time when it was like starting to go, then I had my Friday night closed, Saturday double, Sunday open stretch of work. So
They still make you do that? When are you
Yes,
going to give me
sir.
the dude's address so I can go talk to him about your schedule? Why do you let them hurt you like that, Val?
We'll discuss after the show. Boo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, I actually, for the first time since December of 2019, since Christmas, I got to see my friends Pat and Luli, who are like my family. I spent all my holidays with them. I like their two children. I've been to every year for their birthdays. I haven't missed in until 2 years ago. Like I've always been up there for their birthdays. So it was like very depressing to me that I hadn't seen them. I finally the eldest, Sime, it was her 16th birthday on Monday. So I went up and surprised them. So they weren't expecting me to be there. So I went up there and it was lovely hanging out with the kids. They're so big, so grown. Like they're both, granted, yes, I know I'm very short, but these two are like much taller than me now. They're like 5'5" and 5'7". Like the youngest, she's only 14.
5'5".
Wait, yeah, she's 14. I know I'm only 5'2", but like the younger one, she's the one who's taller. She's 5'7" already. She's only 14. She's gonna get much taller.
You seem taller than 5'2", Val.
Yeah,
I know. I have a big personality, I'm told.
Like you definitely don't. Yeah, like you're not. Yeah, you don't seem 5'2". All right,
Y'all
so,
sure? Because I feel like she's on par with 5'2".
Well, all right, cool. Let's do safe words, and then it's time to just fucking dive right in with fuck that shit. Who wants to go first? How about the two people least likely to use their safe words? Why don't you guys go first?
All right, Jamie, you're up.
Let's go with Cookie.
Cookie. Okay. Marcus.
I'm gonna go with oatmeal.
This always happens. Someone says one because we didn't think about it for 2 weeks, like what my safe word going to be. The first one starts and it's just like a play off of whatever the fuck. One of you bitches say macadamia and I'm fucking you up. Like,
Val, what's your safe word?
Mine is I like how last time I had like a visual cue, so mine is gonna be Ricola.
Ricola. I used to fucking love those stupid ass commercials.
Mine's gonna be Newport.
All right.
All right, Val, hit up Boo. Oh, Jesus Christ.
What?
Nope.
So
I'm just gonna go do the. I'm just gonna stop talking.
That's a shot. That's a penalty
right
shot.
there.
That's what that is, Marcus. Oh, wait, real quick before we dive into fuck that shit. Shout out to Megan and Jeremy and Angie and John in the chat room. Appreciate y'all watching.
What up, kids?
Hi, friends. Thanks for watching.
So coming back to the show is our good friend Wood with another edition of is he in the green room? Is he ready to rock?
It looks like they're playing with the camera, so I'm just kind of waiting.
You want to
play with that camera? There you go.
Wait for the intro.
I'm just waiting because right now it's just a shot of someone's chest, so I don't want to pull that picture.
It would be funny.
Fuck it, throw on a TikTok real fast.
How long is that video? Let's just go ahead and just throw up the graphic at least.
Yeah.
So they can
set it up.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
There's a man.
Our man on the streets.
Fuck that shit.
Fuck that shit.
All right.
Where's the video?
Oh, yeah. I got a lot of stuff on here.
And maybe it's those Elton John glasses. What am I?
Right.
Hi.
So normally,
Well, you haven't solved that problem yet.
Hold on.
Uh-oh. Hello.
Oh shit!
there he is.
Ah, thank God.
What's good, Wood?
Stop touching things.
Uh-oh.
Nah, man.
Oh shit!
All right, so we're
Yo,
having,
I'm
we're
the
having
worst.
some.
I ain't gonna hold you. Every time we'll come on the show, I'm gonna have to throw in some Wu-Tang shit just because. Like it just has to happen. Just
Yeah, what you got, son? What you got?
Oh, you got some black on black.
got the black on black, baby. Black on black. I got so much Wu-Tang shit it don't make no goddamn sense. God fucking damn it.
Yeah, that's what it is, son.
Hell
Yeah,
fucking yeah.
so-
I made this hat way too tight real fast, so let me fix this. Like
Yeah. While you
tight to the
while you do
motherfucker, yeah.
Wood, what you got for us?
Indeed.
What?
We have
Oh,
some-
I see this. I see the fuck that shit right there.
Don't move. Keep talking.
Indeed. I don't know, my shit is so choppy, but you know.
yeah, it's
It
a
is what it
phone. It's the
is.
phone issue. Yeah, we got to get you on a laptop.
It's good to know I'm
You
not
know
the
what I
only
mean?
one who uses a tin can.
Bruh, I didn't have for 3 days. That's that fuck that shit.
It has-
That's right now. But,
Mm.
like we
This
had
is like
a water
tin can
main
on
break
string.
in my building. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
Water
power
broke in my building in just an hour, like 4 hours ago.
Oh my gosh.
After 3 days. This shit was crazy. And that's my definitely fuck that shit.
Yeah, fuck that
Because it made no sense to be in the newest building in Arlington. My
Oh,
shit brand
shit.
new.
shit. Yeah, you have a nice building. You have a nice apartment.
Yeah,
I mean, didn't that apartment-
Arlington.
Yeah.
Didn't that apartment just that new apartment just
And
fell
that
down
shit-
in Florida, in Surfside, right?
I
That
don't know if
apartment
that was
wasn't
a new
new.
apartment though. Yeah.
That apartment was
Oh,
old
okay.
as
In
fuck.
Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
shit,
thought somebody told me it was like 5-10 years old. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
No, it's got a sister building that actually there's a sister building that was built at the same time that's totally fine because the people that live there actually maintained it and didn't let shit get fucked up. So,
I mean, not for nothing. To quickly interrupt, I don't know if you guys knew, but they got a hurricane coming sometime soon. And if they don't put out that rubber
son,
boy, it's
Had
oof.
nothing to do with the weather. There was
No,
nothing-
I'm not the weather. That bitch is collapsed.
They
I
said
mean,
100,000 in my basement.
no, I mean not the
It was
weather. I'm
crazy.
talking about.
Oh shit!
I'm talking about
Now
if they don't clean up
all
that
right.
rubble.
So this is kind of hard because the audio is all fucked up and there's a delay. Can we get Wood on a laptop? Val, can you message him and see if they they need a.
Okay.
I think we might have to make this standard issue for our guests in the future.
No more
It's like,
tin
no more phones. Like no disrespect, but like we gotta.
Crackling.
That was intense, and I'd love to hear the story. I just can't handle with the delay and the crackling and the hipping and the hopping.
The boogity music. That goddamn black shit.
But no, dude, not having power in the heat is some bullshit. A water main break in the summertime is some weird shit too. Like
What's
that's
worse?
definitely
I remember coming home from like coming home from summer school and shit. And like, I got outside my house. You know, you can hear your parents arguing. It's like, I do not want to go in this fucking house. It's like a whole ass heat wave. I'm already hot. The power went out on the block. My parents were bitching about which hotel we was going to because they weren't staying in that fucking house. It was like, yeah, where we going? Because we ain't staying here. Like, don't fuck it all. That heat shit, man, I don't fuck with it.
So would you rather have?
Right? Did they?
Go ahead, Bill.
Did they stop fighting after they got to the hotel?
No, they were bitching because they were waiting for me to come home. I sat outside for like a half an hour. I'm the one who fucked it up. Like, they were just trying to get it together. Like, where the fuck was they going to stay? They were just mad as shit because they were in that hot ass house waiting for me. But yeah, we figured out where we were going to stay. The second I walked in the door, it was like, finally, let's fucking go.
Would you rather have no power in a heat storm or a snowstorm or a heat wave?
Heat wave. Heat wave, dude. Like, I don't know. Actually,
you can die from both, bro.
I mean,
you
can
know,
die
honestly
from both. Well, no. Because I mean, here's the thing: heat wave, I could actually go someplace else that's cooler. If it's freezing, it might be too cold for me to fucking leave the house.
True.
You know, like
there's a better chance to go somewhere else.
It all depends because a heat wave doesn't mean like, you know, if it's cold. I mean, like, is it cold? Is there snow? Is it a fucking blizzard? You know what I mean? Like, while this is it, or is it just fucking cold as shit?
At least you can find somebody with a car with air conditioning. Yeah,
I mean, when in doubt, I could always just go sit in my car in the AC. But I mean, again, I could get in my car and drive somewhere. With air conditioning, you know, where
it's less of a convenience,
right?
If it's just freezing cold, then fine. But if there's snow on the ground, ice on the ground, and that type of shit, like that,
and you're stranded.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the heat wave that's happening on the West Coast? It's like 130 degrees or something like that.
I know they get 120.
I know someone with a farm in Oregon. They said that they might have to shut their shit down. They said he said it hadn't rained since February.
Shit.
Think about that. He said it hadn't rained since February.
Shit.
It rained more this week than it did the whole time this year.
Like that's some wild.
They were saying in Las Vegas, it's like been the hottest that it's been like on record.
Yeah, fuck all that noise. Anybody who's dumb enough to go to Las Vegas right now.
Fuck that dry.
I mean, it's still. I mean, 120 is still 120. Like, just,
I mean, it's melting things. Like it's melting the plastic, like outside and stuff like that. It's crazy.
I can't. I'm of the effect of I'd rather be cold than hot because I can just put more clothes on. Like once I'm naked and hot, I'm just naked and hot.
You can't take your skin off. Like if it's cold, you can keep putting stuff on.
Right. Now, what Boo said, mind you, if it's snowing and shit, I can understand that one. But like on the normal, fuck all that noise. I put some blankets on. I keep my house cold as shit. I'm a fat man. Fuck that. If the wind don't blow, I sweat. So
I keep my shit cold. I keep it on in the winter. So that's how cold I keep that shit sometimes. All right. Let's try to do one more time.
Is he back in?
It looks like he's back in, so I'm gonna try bringing him in one more time.
All right. Come on, Wood.
All right, Wood, how you sound?
Yeah. Oh, shit. So I got to unpause that shit.
All right, we'll give you 30 seconds.
Yeah, but what y'all talking about? Yo, I be hot and cold. Bullshit. You know, like the wind blowing in your face and all that. I definitely on some fuck that shit. Because I don't want no parts. Cool. Ever. You know what I mean? Like
all right. Now
Wood, damn it.
I really want Wood on the show. I really
want him on
this. I
the
can't.
chop in between the chop is so good. Like
it's every other word. It's every other word. It's
but what's frustrating is like during the pre-show, it was fine. Like when he first got on, like the connection was great.
Yeah,
when he first came on.
Oh, yeah, when he first came on, yeah.
Yeah, like before you, Marcus, even got on, like he was like perfect, you know. I don't know what happened.
We're gonna have to do that trial and error during the week and get him. I can send him a webcam if he needs a fucking webcam.
Yeah,
Wait a
we
minute,
gotta
he's a manager for Wu-Tang. I gotta send him shit.
I wasn't gonna say nothing, but now that you brought that up, motherfucker, you ain't broke.
All right.
All right, moving on, Bill.
How about this? Yeah, moving right along. We will attempt to keep
Trying.
Brotherhood in the fold. We'll see how this works out. I'm gonna again take this opportunity to thank everybody who's watching. We really appreciate y'all being here. If you can, like and share on all the platforms, Facebook and Instagram, the District of Misfits Show, on Twitter at DC Misfits, on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, the District of Misfits Show. And you can enjoy this show. You can enjoy the original DC as Fuck show. We have episodes of that, as well as other podcast content produced by District Dogface Studios. On Twitch, we are District of Misfits. And you can go to crushingdc.com and buy our gear and support us that way. And if you are interested in being a guest on this show or creating a podcast of your own, we can help you with that. Reach out to us at the District of Misfits Show at gmail.com. Story time. Oh, wait. When are we bringing Mark? Are we bringing Marcus on
About
at 11?
Okay,
cool. So we can do story time then.
Yeah, Megan.
Oh, there you go. Cause fuck that shit.
It's always some white woman trying to save a black man. Look at you.
I mean, they got to balance the scales for all the other white women voting for Trump.
Right.
Oh shit! Oh wait, Boo! I can't wait for your story time because I got a little piece of something to add to it because I know somebody who was there.
What?
Oh yeah, the whole. Remember we talked about the bar on Wednesday. What you gonna talk about for story time?
I don't remember.
Fantastic.
You don't remember now.
Motherfucker! Here I go being a sober one this week.
Dude, just tell me in the chat in the comments.
All right, cool. I gotta hit the escape button.
Yeah.
Before we go into story time, Boo and I talked about it our last show that we were going tubing the following day, and we have some photos to share.
Oh yes, it was a glorious day on the river on the Shenandoah. Good
Jamie,
time.
Megan said shut
Tell Megan I said no.
I mean,
you can tell her yourself.
You just did.
I'm not a look. How about this? I'm not a fucking owl. Kiss my ass, bitch. Anyways,
what?
There we go.
An owl? I don't get it.
All right, kids, set up the pictures.
I'm too stoned for this.
Set up your fucking pictures from the trip.
We've been talking about it. We're just waiting for you to actually throw it up on the fucking screen.
Is that a Stoli blueberry?
Well, yes,
yeah.
it is.
There was a dude that was walking around and he was trying to pour it in people's mouths, and I was like, I got this, dude.
Was this just whatever's left over from the bar from the night before?
So no, like that's a thing. It's Ron Jolly. He likes to walk around with the fucking Stoli Blue. They do zingers on the river.
Was it always Stoli Blue or just
for him? Yes.
And yes.
It's
there's my girl Kelly Jo next to Boo.
Shout out Kelly Jo.
Why does this look like a 12-step program field trip? Like we're out here high on life, motherfucker. Like, and then there's that.
I'm not sure that looks like a 12-step.
That definitely doesn't look like.
I said, and then there's that. Like,
so this is right before that. So we take a bus to Front Royal, and then the company, they shuttle us up the river. So this is before we got on the bus to the river, to the top of the river, to take our trip down.
Yeah, that moldy ass life jacket lasted all of like 5 minutes.
That's gross. They smell bad.
Yeah.
Not even sure that they clean them.
No, they hang them out to dry. You saw it. Like they went off of our bodies, or allegedly, and then back onto the line that they were hanging on outside.
So they came out of their bodies and then brown water, hung them up to dry.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we basically just used them to clean
them in the sun,
tie our inner tubes together, like
right.
There you go. There's Exhibit A of like.
He started purpose with them.
That's Boo's paddle that he used to. I mean, Boo took us down the river sometimes. We'd be in really shallow water and we kind of get stuck and
came in
Boo would,
handy.
like, pull us out.
Pushing off.
Look at that DC as fuck shirt.
Yeah, it was a perfect day, man. Like
It was beautiful.
clear sky. Fucking, I got burned. It was awesome.
I mean, it looks beautiful
Great.
except for the water.
It was except for what, the water. I mean, the water
I
was
thought those were-
dirty.
Dude, you
I
could see
thought those were titties for a second. Those are kneecaps.
You
Wow.
could see the bottom. You could see the bottom, Marcus. Like it was close.
Yeah.
I can see the stones now. I'm fucking with you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it was beautiful. It was a gorgeous day. It was a
The
perfect day to
mighty-
be on the river.
Shenandoah. Big man, little. Yeah, they really are like one size. Like it's all good.
It was
It's all
fun.
good. So yeah, and then we're going. There's another trip planned for
The
next
19th.
Monday. So
Yes, so not tomorrow, but next Monday, the 19th.
Next
So if
Monday.
anyone is interested in coming along, it's a different kind of tubing trip because,
Email us. I'll take care of it.
yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, people go down the river all the time. Like they're always like trips down the river, but it's a completely different experience going down the river with a bunch of industry folk.
You do a whole booze cruise all the way through.
Oh yeah, I mean, people are like drinking like the moment they get right before they get on the bus in Georgetown. And then I always had like, I mean, since I've been doing this for probably like 15 years, I always had a hard, fast rule. Like I don't do liquor. I don't drink liquor until we get like, there's always a stop right before we always stop to get food right before we get to the river. And I don't do any shots or anything prior to that. I used to not drink anything until that moment. I used to not even have beer until then, but then, you know,
But then
I got a little bit older.
Then seltzers came along. It made it possible
Then
to start
seltzers.
drinking at 10 and maintain throughout the course of the day, you know. And then
It was a
also,
good
yeah,
time.
that
Wait.
and river chicken.
What about the the river chicken? We all got a bunch of us got Kentucky Fried Chicken and ate it on the river.
Oh, I am not a KFC fan.
You know, when it's one of those when in Front Royal.
Yeah.
Like when in
Right,
Rome.
I guess.
Marcus, show the picture of everybody in front of the bus. There's like the group shot. This is probably the biggest that it'll be. Like the first trip is always like the largest group of people that go.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how many repeat offenders are on the second trip.
There'll definitely be a few, but it was fun. There were, I mean, quite honestly, like there were a lot of people on that trip that I didn't know. I didn't recognize them. Usually it's like the same cast of characters of the motley crew that go on the tubing trip. Are we showing this picture or no? What?
Rocket Man.
Huh?
All right.
Marcus said, "I'm still standing, better than ever, looking like a
You gotta
true
look-
survivor."
Marcus, it was the very first
Gotta let
picture.
your boots and I'm gonna catch you. And you're
It's the
probably in
picture
the
with the school
magazine.
bus and all the people standing in front of it.
It literally is the very first picture that I sent. Should I send it again?
Don't send it again.
Benny and the Jets.
Don't send it.
Playing wiffle ball against kids, strike out the side. Be a man.
Dude, that'd be funny. Marcus has like 100 be a man TikToks, just rapid fire ready to go at any given time.
Rapid fire, ready to go. Oh man, that guy says everything that always sounds like James is gonna be playing baseball next year, or wiffle ball, or whatever the fuck this shit's called, T-ball, right? And every time I watch those videos, I'm like, God, don't be that dad. Don't be that fucking dad.
Oh,
It's bad enough we have a bunch of drunk industry people at a kid's baseball game at 10 o'clock in the morning and shit. Like, yo, well, fucking run, fuck that white bitch, Karen. Sir, they scored. This is a pharmacy. Like,
yo, so I don't know why. Well, there
There
you
it
go. Yeah,
is.
there's the crew.
Look how white everybody is.
man.
They started off that way. By the end of that fucking trip, though, everybody was cooked.
There is a lobster.
I see a whole lot of skin cancer in that picture. Oh, titties. Hey, titties.
There were a lot of titties and a lot of ass too.
Did you?
It was mad twerking on the river, yo.
That's funny as shit.
It was mad twerking on the river.
I see pictures. Where's my videos at, yo?
I think I took a couple videos that I like did straight to live Facebook Live.
Yeah, we Facebook lived a couple times, but it was mostly just me being drunk and talking shit. So anyways, for some reason that Be a Man TikTok reminded me. Did you guys see this? They're making a prequel to The Sopranos.
Yes, I saw that.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
Sons of Newark.
Tony. Yeah,
Yeah, Sons of Newark or something like that. Yeah,
Saints of Newark or something like
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah, but it's young Tony and like coming up and
It looks
and
good.
Do they know who's playing young Tony? Do they know?
Young
I mean-
Tony, his son, his real life son.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, it's James Gandolfini's real son.
No.
Nuh-uh.
No shit.
Have you seen the trailer yet?
Bing
Bing
that
that
shit.
shit.
No, I didn't know there was a trailer. I keep reading
I
about it.
watched the trailer. I'll bring it up. You guys keep talking.
I've seen the trailer. That's why I'm talking about it. I didn't know that was his son.
Yeah, I'll bring it up. And you guys can make a judgment call.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's definitely his son.
Ryan, yes,
What?
Ryan was on the trip. Megan, he did make it, and he
Oh,
did a pretty decent
yeah.
job of not getting completely lobstered. He was
Oh,
that.
yeah,
I watched that dude put on so much sunblock throughout the course of that fucking trip. It was pretty.
I mean,
Are we talking
literally
about
every
Ashton
like half
over
hour,
here?
he was like,
yeah, he was not fucking around.
"He had to. He knows. He knows better."
That boy,
That is a white man.
he whiter than a
Motherfucker, whiter than a motherfucker. Like,
Yeah, Michael Gandolfini is playing.
Oh, that makes
James
it even
Gandolfini.
fucking better. I love it. That's
now I gotta fucking watch it.
Yeah.
You believe in it.
I mean, you were supposed to Bing that shit.
I'm so
I
into that.
already knew the answer.
Well, yeah, Marcus was on it. He was on it.
YouTube like a motherfucker.
Yo, Marcus, I think you should tell us about your discovery. I think you
Yeah.
need to
So
tell it. Yeah.
everybody, like I said earlier, everybody knows me. Knows I'm pretty much trying to do any kind of narcotic doors out there over my 20 years. If you at least do it at least twice, except for that thing. I don't have remote control. So anyway, and so also,
Is that your OnlyFans? Your next OnlyFans episode?
This is my sound bar.
Jamie,
Thank you very much.
Jamie and Marcus make things disappear.
Right. Like, how far can you get this up? You know how much money we would make, yo? I'm sorry. I keep looking at OnlyFans numbers. I apologize.
I mean, I don't understand what's stopping you guys. Like,
Right? You keep
Really?
talking about it every
Oh, man.
episode.
well, you guys gotta come on with it to do weird shit.
Dear diary.
Dear diary, you should see how much I got up Marcus's ass today. We're gonna make so much
when are
money.
we ever going to see this OnlyFans page?
All right, cool. When that happens, y'all gonna be like, "Holy fuck, this is weird."
it is.
I just
Yeah,
bought some
Marcus.
candles.
All right, here we go. So this week I thought I had COVID. Well, I didn't think I had COVID. I just felt like I had a cold, and most of my brain injury symptoms are the same as COVID. So I never could tell. So I just go get tested just to be safe. And plus, with the Delta variants out there, I kind of wanted to be safe for everybody else. Not for me. I have my vaccinations. So I went. It ends up like I just had the common cold. I was negative on both my tests, and so I was common cold. So I suck at being sick. So I went and got like the stuff for sinuses. I got Dayquil, NyQuil, just got stuff to take. I got a case of Gatorade, a bunch of Pedialyte. Yeah, I didn't eat for 2 days. I'm just sitting here drinking all these liquids. Well, thank God, like in the beginning of my concussion, when I was doing all the cocktail mixes, I knew how they make your body react. So I found out this weekend that apparently one of my medicines mixed with NyQuil creates LSD, hallucinations. And I will say, I was tripping balls for the past few days. Like the first night it happened, I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? This shit is amazing. So last night I was listening to fucking Pink Floyd and a bunch of things in the dark, had some lights, had a nice little animation and show, and met some people.
Met
So,
some
yeah.
people.
Thank God, from back in the day, I did a lot of acid because if I was a normal person,
Wait, did you went out?
no, fuck no.
No, in his mind, he met some people.
Oh shit! I was like, oh my god, Marcus is tripping balls on the streets. Like,
I mean, I have, but I mean,
Off of like Dayquil.
mixing one of my nerve medicines, I was having legit
Which medicine were you mixing with?
I don't want to say because I don't want to get banned.
Marcus is on some don't
Because
try this at
allegedly-
home, kids.
Right.
I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do it all the time, but I will do it once a month.
Who knew that Marcus could be so responsible?
So there's a YouTube page where they show like old after school PSAs and stuff like that. And like the ones in the 70s are more fucked up than the ones in the 80s, but like every once in a while they'd be like, yeah, kids, don't lick frogs or make you gay. Or like just like or like, yeah, kids, if you drink too much NyQuil, you're gonna have sex with your mom. Like just like all this other shit. And as Marcus is talking, I'm sitting here, I'm just like, oh man, this is about to turn into a fucking PSA real fast. Like hey kids, don't mix all your NyQuil and your Dayquil and LSD because guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna fuck yourself. Like just like
Don't mix your nerve meds with NyQuil.
I'm sorry. I need to just interrupt here for a moment. Val,
What? What'd I do?
is that a ladder next to you?
It is actually.
No, your other left. Yeah.
Yeah.
your other left.
She got it right.
The production dude in me is like insane right now. Like, has that ladder been there the whole time?
No.
Like,
So is that the? I'll just move the camera.
It's still there, still in the shop. Just there you go. There you go. Honestly speaking, I was going for short jokes because I've been in the studio. Like y'all aren't that type.
my stagehand fucking shit was just like,
is that the equivalent of people eating for me?
no, because no. It's just
Mind you, Boo. Like my camera shot hasn't changed in the past hour and a half, 2 hours.
I just want. Oh, part of me was like, did I not notice it until now?
Well, clearly
You have a ladder ghost? You
Big
got a
ladder
ladder ghost?
Maybe with the way that the camera splits were happening.
Perhaps, Boo. Perhaps.
I wasn't judging, but it just triggered.
I was judging because it's been there for the past 2 hours that you've been on screen with me.
I didn't see it until now.
I didn't see the motherfucker until he said
yeah,
something.
see, Marcus changed it up. Like it's Marcus's fault. Just blame Marcus, Val. It's cool.
Okay, yeah, it's Marcus's fault.
It's Marcus' fault. Thanks, Marcus.
Yay!
Way to go, Marcus.
Way to go, dude. Good job.
Oh, you have a story.
And now it's really a show because Jamie's eating.
I guess I did. I can't fucking remember. Fuck. Oh yeah. So yeah. So anyways, I talk a lot of shit about Philly and mostly sports related. But I have to take my hat off to them and give them a shout out because we didn't do a show last week, so we didn't get a chance to talk about it. But on the 4th of July, a bunch of fucking Nazis decided that they were going to march on City Hall in Philly. And the people of Philadelphia did what the people of Philadelphia do.
Yeah, I was so happy about that.
And these motherfuckers showed up and beat these dudes' asses and chased them away. They jumped into the back of like a bunch of Penske trucks where they were then eventually pulled over by Philly PD and like all pulled off and arrested.
And treated like black people.
Treated, yeah. Like, but it was just whack because they all had like khakis and then they all were wearing masks and shit. And like, there was a bunch of like fun videos of like, there's like 10 of them running away from two dudes. Like two Philly motherfuckers just throwing hands at anyone they could. And like the rest of them are just like scattering. And so.
In their khakis.
In their khakis.
And their button-down shirts.
And they're like, come on, like, take my hand as they like pull away in the truck. Like the last scene in Platoon. They had these little shields, dude. Like, okay, so you know when Antifa has the fucking shields? Them bitches are like Spartan style. They go from your heel, from your shoulder to your knee.
Like
like they're fucking shields. These dudes had some shit that were like a third of that. something the size of like a fucking stop sign. And they were trying to stand in these little bullshit like formations and whatnot. Like
They were standing.
yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Like a child's shield.
Yeah. But yeah, so shout out to the citizens of Philly for letting for being real Americans. How about that?
I don't know what the fuck triggered this. So my cousin was downtown. He was on his way to Independence Mall. The first lady was going to be there, supposed to give a speech, fireworks, blah 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 blah. And he said all of a sudden, like this big group of like fat Italian guys came like sprinting by him real fast on the way to like Chestnut Street. And he was like, the fuck is going on? So of course, in full Philadelphia manner, I see aggression. I want to go check it out. They walked over there and they basically, like, people heard about them like marching up the street, and like all of Philadelphia showed up to beat them the fuck up. Like everyone was just like, it's like, yeah, fuck this shit. Like, here's the thing. I know they call us the city of brotherly love. We are really aggressive. We just like ourselves. Everybody's racist as fuck, but has a fucking interracial grandchild. That's all I'm trying to say. These motherfuckers showed up dressed like, you know, Arnold from fucking Best Buy in their khakis and their goddamn blue shirts. And they're like, the fucking shields are like this and shit with names on them and stuff like that. Got their asses whooped. And like, he was like, you get there and you hear them screaming, "Don't touch us! Don't touch us! We're real!" Just like, take the fuck off. And it's just black dudes out there in Timbs and shit, and fucking dashikis trying to fuck them up. And everybody's like, yeah, fuck that crack and shit. This Philly bitch. Like, that's a cool white nigga right there. And I was like, this is the best thing I've ever heard.
I do have one TikTok that I pulled. It's the only one I got off it. So I don't have that much of a video, but you'll be able to see a little bit. It's a guy from Philly talking about it.
I didn't even know this shit happened till this morning. Apparently yesterday on July 4th Eve, a white supremacist group showed up to do like a white supremacy march or some dumb shit in my city. And it went about as good as I thought it would go. This really not the city to try and pull that in. It's 44% black. Like, you really not about to let too much shit fly here. They showed up all masked up, trying to look tough, and then got pressed by bystanders. And this is great because this is showing me exactly what I always knew about these people. These are LARPers, bro. They are not actually built. When pressure is applied, they fold.
Good for Philadelphia.
Next time they come to DC, y'all, like, it's just like before when they were marching, I was like, I'm not getting COVID from these motherfuckers, but I'm vaccinated now, and I'm willing to roll.
Also, they travel from Texas.
They're not even from there. They don't know them streets,
right?
They didn't realize them streets talk back.
Why would you go to any city like Detroit, Philadelphia?
Those streets reach out and touch you. Like, that's seriously, what the fuck?
We have different assault charges in Philly. Like,
yo, and so I didn't realize. I thought it was on the 4th, but it was on the 3rd, huh?
Yeah.
Still, there's a TikTok.
That's just funny as fuck.
There's a TikTok of this white girl's filming, and her mom's like, "Fucking Nazis!" And her mom's like, she's like, "Mom." In the last 10 seconds of the video, you hear her mom go, "They must not have realized this is fuck around and find out town."
Yeah.
All right, Mom. I see you. So yeah, that was my story. Yeah. Fuck Nazis. Shout out to Philly. Keeping it real.
Shout out to Philly. All right. This is I'm waiting for Marcus. Up there he is. Hey, let's get to Marcus. Let's get to introduction, sir.
Are we bringing him on?
Right now, baby.
Hey, what's happening?
Man, I'm happy to be here. This is exciting.
Man.
Welcome to the show. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, cousins and kin. This is our good friend Marcus Dowling, for guest on the original DC as Fuck show.
Oh, absolutely. I certainly was.
Yeah, dude, that night. I think that was the night. That was the first night I met Ian too.
Was it? Yes, yeah, that was great.
Yes.
Yeah, like that was some studio magic, dude. Like we had a fucking blast. I'll never forget that shit.
Hi, everyone.
Can we talk about this real life hoedown shirt this man has on right now?
Absolutely, man.
That's real drip right there, bro.
Thank you. This is from what is this? From Rock Mountain Ranchwear in Denver, Colorado. They did the outfitting for Urban Cowboy in like every 80s and 90s cowboy film you ever saw. So like they're pretty tight. Yeah, I was up there. I was out there 2 years ago, and picked this up, and I wear this stuff a lot. So like as a country music journalist now, like one of the many things I do, it's allowed me the ability to like really lean in on this thing that I've been a fan of for most of my life. So it's like, it's funny. It's like, oh yeah, so why do you wear the shirt? It's like, well, because I have to. Now. So logical. So it's good.
Makes sense.
Thank you. Thank you for mentioning that though. I try.
No problem, bro. I respect the drip, baby. I respect the drip. Shit.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So for those who don't know, just kind of give the folks a little bit of background on who you are and what you do, how you get down.
So I'm a native Washingtonian, born and raised in Washington D.C., Deanwood neighborhood. Lived all over the city. I'm a journalist by trade these days. For the last 15 years, actually. I'm currently the Rolling Stone Chet Flippo 2020 Excellence in Country Music Journalism Award winner. I also won an award from Mixmag for Excellence in Dance Music Journalism last year. So that's kind of fun. But I was very cool.
Right.
Yeah. And on top of that, I have 2 exhibitions that I'll be launching soon. One is a physical permanent exhibition about the history of culture in the renovated Martin Luther King Library in downtown DC. I'm also the screenwriter for the DC hip hop documentary Almost Awesome. So that's cool. On top of that, let's see, I'm in Nashville right now because I'm doing some stuff for Americana Fest in late September 20th, 25th. I got a lot of stuff going on. That just scratches the surface. And I know most of the people from working with One Love Massive and the DC as Fuck movement. I am DC as Fuck and I'm very proud of that. So yeah, like this is, and it's like everything I've been doing as of late, it's funny, since COVID, has kind of like crystallized the last almost 2 decades and kind of like put it all together and now pushed it forward. So it's really an exciting time.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you how much COVID impacted what you were doing. Like, I always like to I always wonder, like, where were you? What were you doing when you got the news that like everything was going to shut down? And what was your like reaction?
This is a great story. So we have I helped to co-found Adobo, which is a Latin themed dance event. It's also a cultural experience for the Afro-Latino community of Washington, D.C. And we were in the midst of having communications with now is the officially been announced as the Adobo Gigante 3rd anniversary party. We were going to work with the Kennedy Center to like put an Adobo event on at the Kennedy Center. And if you know anything about Adobo events, one of the things that they're known for is people taking cans of Adobo and pouring them on women's posteriors. And it's only funny because, yeah, I know. Boo, you look crazy. Like, Barb, you look crazy too. It's absolutely a thing. You can look at the Adobo DMV Twitter and Instagram, and you can see actual footage of this. So it's only funny because the women who come to Adobo started this trend long before the guys ever did. Because we call it the party Adobo because it's a spice that is across all culture and has a meaning. So we had these cans of Adobo at the party. And when we had the cans of Adobo at the party, we just had them kind of sitting around as decoration. And then like these girls just like randomly grabbed them and then started pouring them on their girls, asses. And we were just like, this is crazy. And then guys started doing it. And so we had the video go viral on Twitter, had like 2 million views, and we got a whole bunch of flack. It's like, oh my God, yep, exactly, boo, that's the one. So people, yeah. And so we had this horrible thing happen where people got excited and were like, this is A, it's appropriation, and B, it's it's sexism, it's rampant, it's terrible. And then we have to issue this whole statement. We're like, and we found the girl that started it. We're like, yo, you have to like put a video up and explain this. And so we'll like promote it through our socials. And she shot the video. She like poured it on her homegirl, the whole deal. It was crazy, the whole thing. And so we had this meeting, I think it was March 9th. And we had an adobo scheduled for Po' Boy Jim's. We were going to do the first adobo brunch at Po' Boy Jim's. And you guys know Po' Boy Jim's. So we were going to do it we were going to do it at Po' Boy Jim's. And then they're like, this coronavirus thing might be serious, so we have to cancel it. We're like, okay, fine. Then we are at this meeting with the Kennedy Center, and they're like, well, this adobo pouring thing is a little much. But we have these cans we see that you're starting to roll out of glitter-filled adobo, and we're okay with that. and it was very funny, and I was like, okay, because we were like,
wait.
Yeah.
The spice itself is a bridge too far, but
Yes.
this adobo glitter is totally cool.
I would like to add that I was thinking the same thing Boo was thinking. Like, because the second you said glitter-filled adobo cans, I was like, hold the fuck up.
Kennedy Center,
They were fine. We would empty the adobo can of all of the spice and fill it with glitter. They were fine with it. I have a can.
Racist ass Kennedy Center, dude.
So it's fine. Like, they've been very supportive. They booked. We booked UCB through them to do a Go-Go Cumbia set. So that'll be fascinating. And
fuck yeah.
No, it's amazing. So like the 23rd, Alizé spinning, UCB is playing, Gordo Brega's rapping, O Slice will be up there. It's gonna be crazy. Like,
I might have to check this out, dude.
I'm trying to go to that shit.
I might have to check this out, dude.
3 days. So the first day of the film festival, DJ Bo is spinning that night. Then there's the second night is this Go-Go Cumbia like experience.
That's the night I want to go to.
Yeah. Then
I'm trying to go to all this shit.
Explain what is cumbia? What is cumbia?
What is cumbia?
Uh-huh.
So cumbia is kind of like so imagine a like half speed like R&B flavored salsa.
Uh-huh.
So like you take like your regular like salsa track, whatever, and you slow it down a little bit and you weave in some R&B to it.
Shit.
I like it.
And it's got a sweep to it at the bottom. So like the bottom end doesn't like bang like a drum. It's got like a sweep to it. And so it's easy to dance to.
It's how black kids get made nowadays since Jodeci ain't making new albums.
I mean, there it is. No, it's real. Like I dated someone for a whole year because I met her at Dover.
Just cut.
There you go.
Literally, like it's like okay, cool. Let's go.
I am so fascinated right
Coming to
now.
America 3 in that bitch.
No, it's amazing. So that gives you a sense of what my life is like. Like there's always something going on that's crazy. Like
no doubt.
I'm in Nashville right now, and I'll be at the Country Music Hall of Fame tomorrow. Like talking about Americana Fest stuff, and we're doing a thing down here with Black and Latino and person of color and queer country and Americana artists, where we're going to put them in a house and let them write songs and hang out. And just because they never get a chance to, because like 10% of the fan base of country and Americana is Black and people of color, people believe. So the artists of color don't really get an opportunity.
Are you telling me Darius Rucker didn't cross the color line?
He is one artist. He is one. Charlie Pride is one artist.
You didn't have to answer that. You didn't have to answer that.
No, I always will. I've been asked it every day. White people ask me that question every day.
Marcus, was it you that has the friend? Marcus, is it you that has the friend that's the country singer?
So I have a friend from Beach who's a black man from Rehoboth Beach, Jimmy Allen.
Yes, Jimmy Allen, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Jimmy, Kane Brown, Mickey Guyton.
Yeah, you did an article on that.
I'm actually a big Kane Brown fan.
No, Kane Brown.
Why don't we have him on the show?
Yeah, I can try to get Jimmy. Like I don't know him personally. I just like I said, I'm 1 degree from him, but I watched his whole career just because black man plays country music.
Yeah, Jimmy was born in Milton, So yeah,
Yeah.
he lives there. He's like the king of Milton. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah, they love him down there. They love him.
Yeah, he owns the town now. It's wild.
Pretty much,
It's
yeah.
millions of dollars.
Yeah, and
So-
then I guess he played at the Opera House or one of the award shows recently.
Yeah. So
You mean the Grand Ole Opry?
yeah, Grand Ole
Yes,
Opry,
Jake.
which is,
I got so much beef with that place. I just feel like they used to hang niggas in front, like just. Oh man! So I went to Nashville a couple years ago. I had a great time. I have an issue with pimento cheese because it's in everything there. I don't get it, but you know,
yes, it is.
it's just a thing. But like we got there, and like I'm a souvenir guy, and like I went to Johnny Cash's museum, even though shit's all fake. You know what I mean? Like just hit everything I fucking could. Bought $130 bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
The Patsy Cline Museum is fire if you ever get a chance.
It's
But yeah, we got to the Grand Ole Opry, and like I got there, and I was like, man, I just feel like somebody's about to hit me for not picking up some tobacco or cotton today. Like just you know that like the ancestors is like grabbing your shoulders, like, no, nigga, hold up, don't go this way. Like,
oh God, I'll give you a comparative story. I had a private tour of Studio B at RCA Records, like right out here in Nashville, and it's where like Elvis recorded when he was with RCA in the '70s. So like all of the Vegas Elvis songs, Charlie Pride recorded there. Wilson Pickett, when he tried to like resurrect his career in the late '70s, recorded there. So like you go in and like George Jones recorded there too. So like all of these like epic old white guys recorded there basically. And you walk into the actual physical studio, and there's this moment where I'm the only black person in the room. And everybody looks at me like it was a weird moment because the whole tour is going on. I've taken a tour to Country Music Hall of Fame. I've been there like 3 or 4 times now. I'm taking the tour and nobody said anything. It was like, like they make mention of it every so often now. It's what they do. Like, yeah, like this black artist and this thing is, these things are different now. And, we're post.
Did they walk you out to the kitchen?
Yeah, not at all. Walk me to the front door. Told me it was the front door. Like, hey, now that's what we do. So I'm in there. This moment where everybody stops and the door closes. Everybody stops and they look at me. Finally. And they're like, so, what are your thoughts about Elvis?
You gotta throw the first punch, baby.
And I'm like, well, I like him, but I'm also a fan of Public Enemy, if you guys know what that means.
If you know what that means.
That's very.
I like that.
Yeah,
very well put.
I like that.
Store, like does her spiel backwards and goes through like everything but the Elvis bit at the end, and then she's like, well, okay, so finally we'll get to the Elvis part that I was going to do at the start, except Marcus doesn't like Elvis.
I'm so sick of people asking black people about old dead white people. Like dead ass, like I'm at the point where it's like, if you ask me about Frank Sinatra, I might just come out and be like, yo, fuck Frank Sinatra. Like, just stop asking me about old dead white men.
I just laugh because the thing is like I'm in country now. Like it's one of many things that I write about, and I'm like an award-winning country journalist. And for some people's money, I'm the best writer in country music, and I'm as black as the street was. Like everybody who knows me on this panel will tell you, I'm like very, very black, like unapologetically so. So like it's funny because it's like then they stop and they're like, so we have to ask the question, like, if you like country, like that means that you like a lot of music by very problematic white men. I go, yes, I do. And they're like, how do you justify that? I go, well, all I'm doing now is I'm pulling up every single black artist I can find in America and throwing them at you and telling you why their music is great. And they're like, well, yeah, that does make sense. That is what you do. And I'm like, yeah, so that's my answer. Like, as much as this history, 99 years of country music has existed, like literally 99 years. Like next year is the 100th anniversary of country music, which is crazy.
Wow, it's crazy.
So I'm like, all right, so like for 99 years, y'all have done this thing. So give me 1 year. Just give me 1 year of y'all's history and give me some time to like at least show you that like there's some black folk here who might know what's going on. maybe possibly, maybe. So it's fascinating, and that's what I've been doing. And people have like slowly adjusted to it, and it's getting to a point now where it's fairly positive. Like I can walk around the streets here and not feel weird. Admittedly, the first time I'll tell you another quick story. Jump in real quick. Just one I just thought of it. I was on Broadway, which is like downtown, midtown Manhattan, 42nd Street. And I walked into this place called the Boot Barn. And it's like a legendary place where there's boots up and down the wall. And I've got a cowboy hat on and got like sunglasses, the whole deal. And I'm wearing a mask. And I've got this leather jacket on because it's like February, March. Walk in. This girl stops me at the front door. She goes, I saw you on TV last night.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, all right. And it's only funny because I do stuff for History Channel on occasion. So I'm thinking, oh, shit. She saw the thing I did on History Channel. That's cool. And then she goes, then she says, I know who you are. And I said, oh, you know who I am? And she's like, you're Jimmy Allen. And I didn't say anything.
Shit.
I said, cool. And she's like, I'll be quiet. But if you need anything, let me know. And I said, okay. And she
you should have got Jimmy Allen's dick sucked.
I mean, crazy things have happened. So I go through the store, get a pair of boots, walk to the front, whatever. She's like, I'll give you a discount. I'm like, thank you. Whatever. Got my discount. Put the boots in the bag. She goes, Mr. Allen, do you mind if I take a picture outside? I said, no problem. So we're walking outside. She put her arm in mine. We're walking outside. She's like, hey. And I look at her and I go, hey, guess what? She's like, what? I'm like, I'm really not Jimmy Allen.
And you're racist.
I mean, at least he didn't call you Don Cheadle from Boogie Nights. Like, yeah.
So Marcus,
forgotten black character right there.
I got a question, Marcus. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you when did you decide to switch to predominantly focusing on writing about country music, and what brought that on?
Great question. So I'll tell you, I moved back right before the start. I had a bunch of stuff that was coming.
Wait, hold on. We're losing you.
You're breaking up a little bit, Marcus.
Hold on, yeah, let me try this. There you go.
Okay, can you hear me? Yep. Cool. So I moved at the start of COVID. Before the start of COVID, I moved into an attic in an old house in Upper Northwest. Because I had a bunch of semi-serious writing stuff coming. I needed like quiet and solitude, and I was gonna have the big like Hemingway moment. So I moved to this place, and my TV was next to two giant windows. And the day that the precinct burned in Minneapolis, I woke up. And the sun would come right through the window. It was beautiful. It was like every day was like this beautiful sunrise. And it was like, oh, this is incredible. So I'm sitting there. And in the middle, where my TV was, there was like the precinct burning. And the whole entire screen was orange. And then to either side of me, the other windows, because the sun is coming in, orange. So it's like this wall-to-wall moment. And I'm laying there, and I go, this is like the day. So this is like the day where like civil rights happens again. Like this is like Black history is happening again. Like this is that moment. This is that day. This is that time. Oh shit! Like this is it. Like this is the actual moment where like the 21st century is actually meeting 1968. So I'm like, all right, I got to do something. And I've been pitching country to a couple places because I had gotten tired of trap music. I just had, like, everybody's entitled to get tired of trap music at some point. And I pitched a couple of country places, and I written some story. I wrote something for the Bitter Southerner about walking all the way down U Street one day and seeing no black people, which is a real thing that happened to me once. I walked from the top of Adams Morgan all the way down to the 930 Club and saw 0 black people.
That's crazy.
And it was a moment because I looked after about like the third floor gym that you go by, that's on top of the hair salon. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like on U Street. I started to like take notice. I'm like, okay, so this is weird. So like the first black person I see, I'm gonna like shake their hand or something. This is crazy. And it kept going. So like that was a moment, and I wrote about that, and I was listening to Chris Christopherson that day just because. And I'm like, all right, so that opened the door. And then I'm like, okay, I picked some country stuff and nobody got back to me, and I understood why, because at the time I'm a 42-year-old black man. What purpose do I have writing country music? Then after that thing happened, I wrote back to all these places and I said, listen, you need my words now, motherfuckers. Like literally said motherfuckers in the email. And everybody got back to me. Everybody got back to me immediately. And they were like, yes, Marcus, please, we were just thinking about you. And I'm like, yeah, of course you were just thinking about me. And that like precipitated everything. And so like from there, it's just been like, it's been a year since my first piece published July 6th. So it's just over a year right now. It's 5 days past a year. So it's incredible. But I did it because I was like, all right, this is the civil rights movement. Like this is the moment where as a black person, if you're going to have your civil rights moment, you're actually going to have it at this exact second. Like this is the moment where you are going to like have your like Dr. King, Malcolm X, Ralph Abernathy experience. And I took it, and I've been running ever since. So it's really was a transformational thing.
Nice, very nice, dude. Yeah. COVID, man. Like some people came.
I had every day in my bedroom at the start of COVID. So related to that, at the start of COVID, I pitched this piece. My follow up to the country piece for Bitter Southerner was going to be interviewing Diplo, because he's from Tupelo, Mississippi, same place where Elvis is from. Yeah, so Elvis and Diplo are from the same place, and they both have a curious history with appropriation. And they both, like at the time, because Diplo had released his country album, I was like, okay, I'm gonna like do the Diplo country music appropriation race piece, and his team was in for it. And then COVID hit, and we had like a great artist who was gonna like put together a whole scene. He lives in LA, and Diplo was down to like get shot in this crazy looking artscape, whatever. It was a whole thing. Like, I was wild. I was excited. I was like, oh, this is going to be the thing. And then COVID hit. And then Diplo's team was like, and then it was COVID hit. And then like race started becoming an issue in America. And Diplo's team was like, yeah, we don't know. And then next thing you know, it's like, I'm sitting there like with all this research that I've done and all of this like background work that I've done. And I'm like, oh crap. So I just was like inundated with this and just kind of stuck with it. And that like was the precipitator to the moment that happened when the precinct burned and my entire wall was orange and looked like fire.
No, that's all we needed. Sometimes you just need that little ump, and you took it because you've been busy. If I've been following you since I met you 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
You've been on fire. Like, I am so jealous of your wardrobe right now, man. I wish I was 20 pounds.
Man, thank you.
I might just fly.
The other thing that happened in COVID was the world went on sale, and I was working in country, and country people are rural people to begin with. So the first people that got hit by COVID was rural America. So like Wrangler jeans were really cheap, and like Western shirts were like dirt cheap.
Look, this motherfucker. Look at this guy.
Oh yeah, I just did that. I was just.
So I got a question. Who's your dope ass fucking photographer?
Oh, okay. God. All right. So funny story about photographers.
Your pictures are fucking good.
I take a lot of selfies myself. I do. A lot of these are like self-time selfies. I swear to God, literally. And then on top of it, I'm blessed to have friends who are everything from like top OnlyFans creators, actual photographers, to like people who just have good photographic eyes. So I'm just like blessed to be around them, and they'll be like, "Marcus,
Those boots. Let's talk about those
thank
boots.
you."
Right?
No, talk about that.
How about those pants? The whole thing.
Hold on 1 second. Actually, you're gonna see my wall here in a second in the hotel. But I'm gonna bring you something into the scene.
No, that jacket.
The whole
I mean, it's
ensemble.
the whole thing.
The whole thing's hot.
I love it.
Yeah, because I'm actually like, it's funny. So
Jamie, you're muted.
I actually have the boots right here.
Nice.
I wore the boots down. So, yeah, so Mercedes-Benz Vintage in Adams Morgan is my favorite place in the world. The woman who runs it, I forget her name. God, I can't. I should like remember her name.
I'll find information on that. I'll post her information.
Yeah, Mercedes-Benz. She's an amazing curator. So like, when I wrote the story about walking down U Street, I was wearing a pair of cowboy boots because I just got a pair because they were in the store. They were in the store, and I'm like, yo, they're dope. And I'm going to Denver. I was getting ready to go to Denver on vacation, so I was like, I need these boots so I can just walk around Denver and look dope and look cool, like I'll fit in. And then she's like, I like how those boots look on you. She's like, what's your size? And so I told her my size, and then I was like walking down the street, and she was like walking up the street, and she's like, hey, size 8.
Damn, good for her.
I'm like, she's like, I got boots in there for you. And I'm like, okay. So I stopped in. She had another pair of boots for me. I'm like, all right, cool. And then like, as time has worn on, like, you know, it's like I have stuff from her, and she introduced me to like a network of people. And then on top of that, like, yeah, so like the boots right there.
Yeah, those boots are hot.
Or from the boot barn.
I can play chess with your shoe.
Yeah, you can. That's the whole point. So, no, those are from the Boot Barn, which is a place on Etsy that I was introduced to from the same person who gave me the other ones. And it's all just like, here's the thing about COVID. Like, oh yeah, I was at the CMT Awards. Those are boots that I just.
The motherfucking boots.
Yeah, man, those are the ones that are right here.
It's funny, Marcus. I was telling Val the other day. I was like, when I first met you, like you were general, so I saw you either like suit and tie and a fucking shirt. And then I'm like,
I still have all these.
But I'm like, I've seen him morph over the past 3 years into fucking psychedelic cowboy type kind of fucking.
Yeah.
Like I like it. I'm not saying anything bad about it.
It was always there. That was the
I love the evolution of where your soul is going.
Thank you. There's more evolution to come.
I like the wrestling heavyweight championship belt.
Yes.
That's what I'm fucking with. Like
I ran a wrestling company for 3 years. And I worked in the wrestling business for 20 years. So
work all right with the Hennessy though.
That's some heel energy right there, dude.
On top of that, I also like the Hennessy picture. That's me with Matt McIntosh, the Bad Apple, from Capital Wrestling, now Catalyst Wrestling, out of Jersey City, New Jersey.
Right? This was part of it too.
Well, keep that up. I did this thing called the R&B Club with Justin Tinsley from The Undefeated, and with Julian Kimball, who writes for GQ, and our friend Ashley Dior Thomas, who works for Capitol Hill, and we all love 90s R&B. And so for 2 years, we're probably bringing it back at some point. We did a Songbird, and we would like break down these epic albums and, you know, just like bring people in, everything from Jodeci to God. The second year was like classic R&B, so we did Earth, Wind & Fire, we did Stevie Wonder, we did Marvin Gaye. And so that event, I grew up loving Jodeci. Jodeci to me were the greatest group that ever lived. They still are.
Jodeci.
Like by leaps and bounds. You can't touch Jodeci. So when we did Diary of a Mad Band, I showed up early in gear. And Joe Lappin, who runs Songbird, looks at me and he goes, "You're missing a bottle of Hennessy, you know." So it's like when you get on stage, and you guys have probably all been to Songbird, so like we get on stages. make sure you have the Hennessy and take a picture with the Hennessy. So I'll send it to the Hennessy representative and we can see what we can do for the party. Nothing happened for the party, but that picture was so much fun to take. Because I've never felt more like Casey Haley a day in my life. And
Right.
if you can't live a day in your life without feeling like Casey Haley, you're fucking up. Because you feel like Superman. So it's cool. And I love doing it. Like, and I love R&B. Like, one of the things with doing so much country is that I've been able to like find a space between country and soul music, and I live in that space. And so people who know me well in country now, they're like, it's funny because country's like the grand repository for everybody in music that like got tired of the music they were working in, and country's like the most established form of music in America.
It's
So
it's formulaic.
Yeah,
It's
so
very, it's paint by the numbers. Like, it's all about presentation.
Yeah, if you're tired of music, like if you're tired of the music industry and you go to country, it's like refreshing. You're like, oh wow, the music all comes out this day. Like Kenny Chesney puts out a record, it's hitting number one. Alan Jackson puts out a record, it's hitting number one. Like you can measure this stuff like in your sleep, and it's fun that way. So I have a lot of my friends who used to work in R&B who all work in country now, and so we all like laugh because they were all like executives in R&B when Jodeci was a thing, when New Edition was a thing. And when I tell them about what I did and I show them pictures like that, they're like, "Oh man, like you're like locked in."
Do you see a
you chance to watch the Bobby Brown Keith Sweat verses?
Oh, come on! Of course I did.
Okay, all right, cool. Now Jodeci, you said Jodeci, and I had to bring this up. So the day I immediately had to go to Black Twitter. I had to go to Black Twitter and see what was going on because you knew this was going to be the funniest shit you had ever heard in your entire life. But there's one series of comments, I can't remember if it was on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. This lady goes on there and she was like, fuck this. This is all toxic masculinity. I'm not watching this versus these drug addicts, blah, blah, blah. And this lady, a couple comments later goes, you should have known that we were in a toxic men when we chose Jodeci over Boyz II Men. And I myself.
All right, hold on. You segue into Boyz II Men. I started watching on Netflix. There's this thing about pop music, and the first one's about Boyz II Men. And I watched it. It's fucking really good. It made me feel bad for trashing Boyz II Men when I was a young teen.
Why would you trash Boyz II Men? What did they ever do to you?
I was into hip hop and fucking rock, and it was fucking poppy music to me at the time.
Bro, I was listening to fucking death metal and still had room for Boyz II Men. Like,
so I had room for Jodeci instead of Boyz II Men. I went towards Jodeci.
I mean, I wasn't hating on Jodeci. All right, so hold on.
Jodeci, fuck it, yeah.
So Marcus, we've covered country. We've covered R&B. We've covered R&B. I wanted to ask you now about From Almost to Awesome. Like, give us the lowdown on Almost to Awesome, the whole story of DC hip hop history, which to me is a very weighty title.
Oh, it's like, but we did it right. So Baki Thomas from Cool Kids Productions is a really good friend of mine. And Baki called me one day and he said, so it's time. I said, well, it's time for what? He's like, well, we have to do the DC hip hop documentary. And I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, do you want to be interviewed? And I'm like, well, do I want to be interviewed? I'm like, of course I want to be interviewed. He's like, all right, I got 4 hours for you. Because here's the thing, I'm 43 years old, so I've lived through the entire history of DC hip hop. I always joke and say that's the thing. So, and on top of it, like, as a reporter, as a journalist, I've covered a lot of stuff. For like the last 20 years, I've been there and covered it for the most part. So we sat down and started, and he's like, well, you know this, like, really, really in depth. And I'm like, yeah, because I've heard all the stories. I know everybody. Like, I've interviewed everybody, Wale, all the people. And I'm like, all right. So he's like, hey, do you want to, like, write me? He's like, I'll give you, like, 10,000 words, 5,000 words. Like, write me the history of DC hip-hop. And I'm like, okay. And so I wrote it to him. I took him to New. What's up?
All right, good. Sorry, good.
Okay, so I wrote the history of DC hip hop, and I sent it to him, and he goes, so you need to interview all the people that you mentioned in this thing. And then the next thing is, okay, so Megan, you will see it soon. The trailer is out and available now on Instagram at Cool Kids DMV, Cool Kids Forever, Cool Kids Films. You can find it out there. It's lovely.
And when Marcus will give us links to it when it comes out. We'll make sure we share it.
Yeah, no problem. Like he's like, okay, write it out. And he's like, yeah, I interview everybody. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I mentioned like 75 people in this thing. And he's like, yeah. And it's the first person I've ever met in DC who works in hip hop. And I'm not going to denigrate anybody in DC hip hop by saying this, but he's the first person I met in DC hip hop who was not lazy and wanted to do all the work. And he had a crew of people who were also not lazy and wanted to do all the work. So we interviewed nearly 200 people, from everybody from Antonio the Cuban Cigar Smoker to DJ Alizé to Wale to Stinky Dink to Stinky Dink. I saw that look on your face. Stinky Dink, absolutely.
You know what? There's a guy out here by the name of Pooh Shiesty, so I should not be surprised.
So we interviewed all of the people that we ever wanted to interview about the history of DC hip hop over COVID. We only lost one person on the crew for 2 weeks because they caught COVID, which is incredible. So it's astounding. Tabby Benet's in it. We went to LA. We went to Kitty Burns. We went to Atlanta. We went to New York City, and we interviewed Peter Rosenberg and Odyssey in the same day. That was a transformational day in my life.
Hey, what do you think about Peter Rosenberg's new album?
I'm happy he finally did it. Like, he's wanted to be a curator of music for so long. Like, so long. And for him to finally do it at this point is fascinating, because it's like he finally has the ability to, like, if he says do X, you have to do it.
Oh, yeah. It means that two of the biggest radio shows in New York City.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where, like, for Peter, it took forever because he was the white guy there, even in DC for years.
White guy from here, yeah. White guy from
DC.
DC.
Like, he did everything from go to UMD to DJ. He used to DJ at the McDonald's at the top of Adams Morgan.
Really? I did not know that.
He did a late night weekend DJ set at the McDonald's in Adams
there's plenty
Morgan.
of space to be a club there.
Yeah, so if you look at, you remember when the car hit the McDonald's?
Oh yeah.
Yes. So right in that window, that's where people were DJ.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. So like every Saturday and Sunday for the better part of 9 months, we met up as a crew. Surrey's interview it was great. So like literally every derivation of DC rapper you could pick up.
I haven't seen Surrey in a while.
Yeah, so like everybody from backpackers to bottle poppers, like the black market DMV crews in here, Kingpin Slim is in here. There's all sorts of people.
When's it tentatively? When's it coming out?
Tentatively, if right now is July, I would say probably February. Like we just interviewed YBN Corday over the weekend in New York City. I was not there for that, but that just happened. So we put out the trailer, and like anybody we missed, so Rico Nasty's coming. Like we're gonna have everybody in this. Like I can't stress it enough. Like Shy Glizzy is probably gonna get over himself in street beefs he has to actually be involved in this at some point. Like it's mind-blowing.
Dude, I'm trying to imagine what. Now that lockdown and quarantine's over, and assuming that nothing crazy happens and we don't end up going, into another lockdown, I am trying to imagine what this premiere party is going to be like.
Oh God! So it's crazy. We're working on it. I can announce this because it's actually a thing that's like happened now. We're working on an EP where we're doing ciphers historically. Nice. So I'll tell you right now that like Stinky Dink can still wrap everybody under the ground. Like Stinky Dink is like John is well near 65 years old almost.
Yeah.
And literally rapped young rappers who are hot on the streets on the Billboard charts right now under the earth.
Well, let's be honest. Most rappers nowadays.
I know, but it was still a moment where you're in the room and there's Stinky Dink and he's like pushing 67 years old. Like he's an old man. And he's like steps up to the mic and you're kind of like, and it's very much like imagine the room is set like when they do the the BET Award cyphers, and it's like young rapper, like blah 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 blah, like trap ... boom boom. Then you have other rapper who's like, I'm gonna be helping lyrical, and I'm gonna say a bunch of words.
Duh.
And then Stiggity gets up to the mic and he's like,
bars.
My name's Stink. And he starts off like, I'm Stinky Dink. Boop, 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 like very go-go. And then by the end of it, he's like switched his flow 4 times, and you're just like, okay, well.
He gave you the evolution.
Yeah, we should have known this about you 30 years ago. Yeah, DJ Cool is in this. So that was cool. Like, it was one of many astounding things that happened to me over COVID. Like, just every week you come in and it'd be like, it kind of like went through like the telephone, tell a friend thing where people would just show up like, oh, like Tabby Bidet, just like, I mean, he works with cool kids, but he was in town and he's like, I got to come through. I got to be interviewed again. I forgot some stuff that I need to talk about.
You know what, Marcus?
Yes, sir.
And you should come back on here like a week or two before the premiere.
Oh, of course.
And let's like really like dig into it, because I'll be curious to see the evolution of it. Since it seems like they're still interviewing people and there's still some time to make some last minute edits and stuff. So
200. If you look at the trailer, it's fascinating. Like it's really well done. I'm very proud of it.
Hey, Marcus, is the trailer on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's on Instagram, everywhere. Like
what is it?
Okay, so we could find it and play it and probably not get shut down or sued.
If you look up Cool Kids Forever or Cool Kids Films, you'll see it in there. And it'll really as a Washingtonian, it'll make you feel really good about what we've done. Like, especially everybody in here, like the work that we've done over the last 2 decades, especially to preserve and then elevate. To see it hit this level, it's like
the Capitol, the Hoover Building, maybe sometime.
Yep, that's the one. Oh, yeah, we even go all the way back to Gil Scott-Heron and Black Poets and the Last Poet, and go all the way through.
So you're saying we can play it, Fidelity?
Yeah.
We got permission, guys.
Okay, like you heard it, Facebook. Don't go getting all stupid on us.
So yeah, we actually got banned.
Block us.
Part of us
please feel free.
Part of us got banned last week because we played Emma G's premiere song, and
she was on
they muted the whole song.
Her record label muted us.
Yeah, that's because Emma's really on point and
Oh no, I'm not mad at it. Definitely not mad at it, but it's just kind of funny. She's the one that gave me the goddamn song, motherfucker.
She's on the video right now. She's in the show.
She's here.
I can't do it much more.
It was the best. Shout out to Emma G.
You and her have been the busiest motherfuckers I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, he's been putting in the work too.
It's only funny because Emma's one of my friends in real life.
Right. She's a great person.
I hung out with her at the start of the pandemic. I went to her apartment. We had dinner, and I'm we're gonna hang out a lot. And then we haven't hung out because we've both been ridiculously busy.
It's funny. I talked to you. I talked to Emma G. I talked to Grindstone. I talked to Piggy. And, you guys are actually my friends outside the real world. I'm like, hey, you guys want to come on the show? And Piggy's like, you gotta book me through my agent. I'm like, fucking Grindstone. No Grindstone. I'm like, and then Emma G's like, you gotta email this. I'm like, motherfucker, what? Really? And then I'm like, you're like, yeah, I'll be there. I'm like, yeah.
I'm always the same. No matter what. It's funny because somebody told me, they're like, Marcus, you need a manager, you need an assistant. And I'm like, listen, I have my phone, and if it doesn't go in here, then I obviously didn't need to do it. So that's it. I keep it very simple.
Thank you.
Always remain that simple.
I was get on to this Kennedy show go shit. I ain't gonna hold you. I need to.
Nah, bro.
What I gotta do, what I need to do, what's up?
It's free. It's come through. It's free. We have a cap of 1,000 every night.
Marcus, put up the flyer, Marcus.
You sent me the flyer. It's the Adobe one.
Yeah, Adobo. That Adobo.
It's this one right here.
Yeah, it's made by Moreland and
$3.99.
Yeah, we're not fucking around. Like, we want you to come out. We want everybody to come out. Like, if you look at that lineup, it's okay. So put that back up again. I'll tell you a funny story about the lineup. Here's a funny story about the lineup. This is how dope it is to work in DC. And you know, Marcus, you know this, Val, you know this. Like, we sat there and we said the community centers on the phone with us, and they're like very nervous. They're like, "Oh God, it's gonna be so hard." They're like, "It's gonna be hard to fill up 3 days of a lineup." And we go, "Well, we need Bo and Zay, and obviously, and then we need Matt O.D. And then Pedro Knight goes, well, Ben Bona's the homie from New York, so we have to get her down." And then they're like, well, can we do like a live musical event? I go, UCB can play cumbia. And Pedro looks at me and goes, UCB can play cumbia? I go, any go-go band can. They just have to sit down and learn it. And they're like, really? And they're like, well, who do we get to rap with UCB? And I go, well, Matt McGee and O-Slice are still in town. And that was even funnier. Then we called Matt O.D. on the phone, and I think he was high or something. I don't know. So we go, well, we need a rapper who can flow over cumbia that's done by a go-go band. And immediately he's like, well, Gordo. And I'm like, yes, Gordo Brega, of course. We booked the entire lineup in literally 6 minutes. I know this only because I was on the call because I was down here in Nashville the day of the call, and we were taping this Charlie Pride special that's debuting August 25th on CMT. It's
that's
amazing.
My birthday. That's my birthday.
It's amazing. Like, I'll tell you, it'll win some kind of award or something. It's really well done. I'm very proud of it. And I'm in the middle of a field in an amphitheater, and I'm on the phone with the Kennedy Center, and I have like Darius Rucker singing Charlie Pride songs behind me. It's one of those moments where like everything crystallized in my life, and I'm like, I'm doing everything right now. Like, yes, this is peak COVID. It's like April of 2021, so it's like a couple months ago. It's like still peak COVID, and I'm on this phone call, and I'm like barely got my mask off, and I'm like. And we booked it in 6 minutes, and I'm like, okay, good. Can I go now? And they're like, yeah. But I'm happy for it. I think that as far as events go for the city, I think it's a great look for the city to get a sense of where we're going next because we've lost so many venues after COVID. To be able to create a new hub, ideally with Kennedy Center and Kennedy Center Reach, means a lot to me. I've loved the Kennedy Center since I was a child, and I love what they've been able to do with Reach. And to be able to create this kind of like new, gathering space. So I think there's a lot there, and I hope that people come out.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I want to take a moment to, first of all, thank you for being on the show, and not like you're going anywhere, but I'm also, it's been a long time, and I've been looking forward to catching up and seeing what.
Nah, seriously, me too. As soon as Marcus hit me, I was like, yeah, of course.
What you've been up to, but for those of you still hanging in there with us, we appreciate you, and would like to take this opportunity to ask you to like and share on all of your favorite social media and podcast streaming platforms. On Facebook and Instagram, we are the District of Misfits Show. On Twitter, we are at DC Misfits. You go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to the District of Misfits Show, where you can enjoy episodes like this, as well as other podcast content produced by District Dogface Studios.
And you can see the original video of me, Boo, Ian, and Marcus.
Yes, indeed.
Oh yeah, yep.
It's on there.
I got a stupid question for you.
After the call, let me finish business, and then you can do that. Twitch, District of Misfits, and go to crushingdc.com, buy some of our gear.
Oh yeah, Marcus, it reminds me, I still got to send you some Crushing DC shit.
And if you want to be a guest on the show, or you want to produce a podcast of your own, reach out to us at the District of Misfits Show at gmail.com. All right, Jamie, you're saying?
So, since we've mentioned Darius Rucker several times on this show, I have to know, how often do people still call this man Hootie? Like,
okay, so funny story.
You saw Larry Fishburne on it, like, just
funny story. So, the first piece I wrote for CMT was about Darius Rucker, because I'm like, I'm gonna do something like really historical. Like y'all, like at CMT, hired me and made me a writer on your site. So the least I'm gonna do is write about a Black person for the first piece. And Darius Rucker followed me on Twitter immediately thereafter. And when I was in high school, everybody, and I graduated in 1996. So I went to high school during like peak Hootie and the Blowfish. They called me Hootie. Yeah, they called me Hootie in high school.
Oh.
That sucks.
Oh,
racists.
The fact that this is the first one to be like,
I went to Georgetown Day for high school. So
wait, where'd you go to high school?
Georgetown Day.
Yeah.
Georgetown Day
Yeah,
schools.
I'm a mighty grasshopper through and through. So,
Racist ass rich kids, we see you.
So the funny thing is, the first thing I DM'd him when he followed me, I'm like, "Thank you for following me." He's like, "No problem." And I'm like, "Oh, it's actually him. Oh my god!" I'm like, so I wanted to let you know, when I was in high school, they called me Hootie. And when I met him at the Charlie Pride event, he goes, "Hey, Hootie." And I'm like,
disrespect. I like that.
You got called Hootie. You got called Hootie by Darius Rucker.
You got called Hootie by Hootie.
That's some brutal ass.
it was wild. I
Inception ass.
looked at him and I'm like, and he looks at me and smiles. Like, this is great.
That's gotta be a highlight of my life.
No, man, it's definitely one. I like.
No, he was just glad to be able to give that shit to somebody else for a change.
Somebody
Instead of
the fuck else.
just being on the receiving it. Because, he just be walking down the street and motherfuckers are like, Hootie! Drunk and shit, dude. That dude can't go nowhere. So it was probably fun as shit for him to Hootie somebody else, dude. Like,
I think this guy gets DMs from everybody. He must. He's like friends with Ric Flair, So like I'm nobody by comparison. So then he looks at me and goes, "Hey, Hootie."
That's funny as shit.
And I'm like,
my buddy, we saw Cuba Gooding Jr. in Atlantic City. We're like driving by him. Of course, he was doing whatever the fuck he was doing. So my drunk ass buddy in the back seat literally goes, "Oh shit, it's Cuba Gooding Jr." He rolls down the window, goes, "Yo, Hootie!" And just, oh man! Big shout out to BJ.
That was not how I was expecting that story to go at all.
I know.
Amazing.
I know. That's one of my favorite. It's one of those moments where you like hit the brake and then hit the gas and hit the brake, and like I just looked out. I looked out the window to look on Cuba Gooding Jr.'s face. Like,
and as somebody who's not necessarily a fan, as somebody who's not necessarily a fan of Cuba Gooding Jr., that shit's even more hilarious.
Right. He screamed out, "Oh shit, Cuba Gooding Jr." and screamed out, "Yo, Hootie." I was like, "Dirty bitch."
I'm so
dirty bitch. Like, how dare you motherfucker, you.
Yo, and I bet you that shit ruined his day.
Oh, I know it ruined his day. If I ever meet this man, I cannot.
He was probably bent the fuck up, dude. Oh, my God.
He's probably sitting at dinner, texting Darius Rucker, like, "Listen, man, I called you again. I don't know about that, man."
We had a Hootie and the Blowfish when I was working at Champions. This was like probably around 96, 95, 96. They came into Champions.
They probably were coming in from playing the Bayou, which is where I was working at the time. And they used to bus people in from their fucking college.
Oh God!
All of their shows at the Bayou were sold out because at least 3 buses from, I forget where are they Tar Heels or something like that?
I can't remember. Aren't they huge? They're huge, like they're big Dolphins fans, so they came into Champions to watch like the Dolphins game.
I don't know, wherever the fuck they used to bus in.
I feel like it's a Virginia college.
And
they used to bus motherfuckers in. That's all I know. Like
Virginia Tech or something.
It wasn't
they so they came in, and the doorman was so the manager comes over and he's like, "Oh my God, you know that?" Because the door guy, he's a kid from Catholic, and he like carded them all, And like the manager was like, "What are you doing? Don't you know who that is?" He's like, "No, who is it?" He goes, "It's Darius Rucker." He's like, "Is he like a running back or something?" Like, I was like, "No, he does not play football. He is Hootie and the Bluefish. That's who they are." And he was like, "Oh shit, I had no idea."
I would have carded him a second time just on general principle back then. Just to keep those motherfuckers in check.
University of South Carolina.
That's what it was. I knew it was
Right.
Southern
It
Carolina.
was South, yeah.
They're Gamecocks.
Gamecocks.
Yes. So one of my first jobs DJing after college was DJing at Champions.
Wait, what?
One of my first jobs after college was DJing at Champions. I DJ'd a Thursday night at Champions.
You used to DJ at Champions? Nice.
Yeah, in 2001. I DJ'd at
That's awesome.
Champions.
I think I was gone already. I think I was at the 3rd edition.
Yeah, Champions, Chadwick's, and Nathan's. That was my usual.
Okay, awesome. The trifecta right there in Georgetown.
Triangle for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was like
awesome.
Thursday nights were at Champions. Friday
So
nights were
Thursday
Saturday.
nights at Champions was called group therapy because it was all Georgetown kids that would come in. They'd always have the Georgetown bartenders. They called it group therapy, and it was like not for like a PC reason. Like,
Okay. Here we're gonna do. I got the video downloaded. We're gonna take a little break. Marcus, please come back. Discuss a little bit more. Yeah, we got a couple more things fun. I mean, we're all fine. It's almost a witching hour for us, but
Cool, I'm down. Let's do it.
hopefully this is the video I meant to download.
Let's hope.
Are we watching the trailer?
Also, almost the awesome. Is that it? Is that something? Is that a regular video or?
Oh yeah, the documentary is called Almost to Awesome.
Okay, then I got it. We're gonna play it. We're gonna take a video. Go get your drinks. Go take a piss. Do what you need to do, kids.
Already, too late.
Same.
All right, see you guys on the flip. 2 minutes.
The Capitol, the Hoover Building. Maybe sometimes they would even show you the Washington Monument. But you want to see what's happening in the nation's capital? Come with me.
When the fuck is the DMV going to have a run like ATL?
And I feel like it's about to be our time. But are we ready for it?
It's always been second in DC to go-go.
You're in your limousine. The party is over. I drive by in my Range Rover.
U Street was a place to be in the 90s.
Let me see those hands again.
We always gravitate towards our own self-identity.
We looked at New York as babbers.
The labels started taking notice to what was going on here in the DMV, that there is a rap circuit here that's real.
Radio just did not fuck with us for whatever reason.
And that record, that 5 o'clock, was that door opener.
And I had to go above and beyond to get any piece of anything.
A word for Wale.
Wale is the biggest rapper ever from DC. And it's not even close.
Legendary.
What makes Wale so important is just his passion.
He opened it wide up.
Petro and Shaq Glizzy.
Shaq Glizzy's session would start off with the first 30 minutes of him being like, I'm the best rapper out here.
I approach XO and I approach YU and I'm like, look, I want to form a group with y'all. And that's when Diamond District was born.
Logic is wildly underrated.
Rico Nasty. I love seeing the fact that Rico's popping. He could have rocked in the 90s.
These middle schools, these high schools, they loving the Zan-Mans. They loving the Money Mars, No Savage, Baby 50, Q the Fool. Like, these guys are elevating millions of views on YouTube.
We're getting prepared to be the hub of the music. And I feel like it's about to be our time.
Nice.
Wow. I'm excited for that.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
So, Mark, I'm gonna say one thing that fucking made me realize that I wanted to have you back. Not one, but I always wanted you to show. Anytime you come up. But what triggered it was one of my favorite shows. You were on season 2, but I used to watch it as a chef. I love season 1, and I love the history of food. Because if you want to know a culture about a country or a society, you learn their food, you learn where their ancestors, where their immigrants, where the slaves, where everybody was from, you understand that cuisine. So when you break down like where ketchup comes from and everything like that. This is season 1 right here. This is a picture of season 1. This is actually season 2 that Marcus was on. So I'm watching this show after a Sunday night, after one of our shows. Everybody's gone. I'm still up doing editing shit, and I'm sitting here having a cocktail, and I hear her voice. I'm like, my head's down, I hear her voice. I'm like, what the fuck? And you did the Pepsi and Coke one, I believe, right?
Yeah, I did. Okay.
That was the one you were on?
Yeah.
Which that was a great episode because I didn't know about the immigrant through Coke that came up.
It's incredible.
So why don't you tell everybody kind of like what this show's about and how you came on to it?
Okay, so I'm on. It's okay. So there are 2 different shows I'm on History Channel. So shout out number 1 to A&E Networks. Shout out number 2 to DC government, to the Office of Cable Television, Film, Music, and Entertainment. I'm a talking head on Foods That Built America season 2 and season 2.5. It's online too. And also, yeah, if you go to Hulu, they have like season 2.5. It's crazy.
Oh, go away.
Yeah. Then after that, I'm also on Modern Marvels this season and like the little addendum season it's online. So yeah, they reached out to me. DC government has worked to deal with A&E Networks. They have deals with a ton of different people in the content world. So just something to think about, like when you get the opportunity to like, and people say that the government doesn't do anything for you, like you can actually like look at local government and say, hey, like I'm a creator and I want to get the opportunity. If you're at a certain level and you really are pushing it, they'll push you. They'll happily throw you out there. So with them, I was like, yeah, I want to do like video content because I get tired of writing. So I was like, hey, like I'm down. And they're like, well, A&E wants to do a thing. And then A&E reached out and I was like, yeah, I'm down. And they were like, yeah, it's Foods That Built America. You've written about food before. I'm like, yes. Another thing that happened during COVID, I won a fellowship from the Southern Foodways Alliance. So I did a week-long intensive with the Southern Foodways Alliance, which is incredible. And I was supposed to travel to Mississippi for it, but COVID hit. So I did it in my bedroom. And that was cool. And so that like made me super legit in Food Networks and in History Channel's eyes. They're like, oh, you're with the Southern Foodways Alliance, so you must be. And I'm not. Like there's far better food writers in the world than me. I just know a lot. I just know very little about many things. So and it worked very well for the purpose of doing this. I taped 3 different days at 2 different locations for 8 hours a day.
Wow.
So I talked about
for 3 minutes.
Yeah, like they took me through every single episode that you have seen of Foods That Built America. And I spoke to every single topic that they have on all of those episodes.
Every single
that's kind of what they do. Like, and then that way they can just sort of pick and choose, and chop like whatever you get and splice it in, edit it in with other people.
Yeah,
you know. So yeah, it makes sense.
They pick that piece of Chef Adam over you. Fuck that guy. That's a racist.
No, it's funny. So there's some written stuff I did in the show as well. So that's cool. Like so the coolest moment for me was I think it's the Pepsi episode. I'm not sure. So there's like I say something and then the RZA says something.
Yes. Because you guys were talking about Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and I'm like, and it was funny because it was like one of those things where like I was entertaining a female friend of mine, and we were just flipping the channels, and I never know where my stuff's going to be on. They gave me a run of the episodes. They're like, okay, you're going to be on this one, maybe this one, and I'm like, okay, and there's a number of them, so I'm like, and I don't know the schedule, so I don't know when these things are on, and so we're flipping through. And we're sitting there, it's all very cozy, like, hey, yeah, girl, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, there I am. And I'm like, yo, that's me. And she's like, that's amazing. And then the RZA is
right after you.
Like, it's the same clip. Like, it's like, it was the TV dinner one. Yeah. So,
right. Yeah.
I say something about TV dinners.
You were on that one.
One of the most legendary hip hop artists of all time says something right after me. So I look very cool at this point. I'm like, this is great. Like, this is wow. Like, thank God I did this.
Secure the cheeks.
Do we need to ask?
Jamie.
Sure. Well, it's just funny, right? I'll just never forget. Like, that was one of those moments. I was like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, it was wild. Like, it's good. Like, I'm happy with that.
We haven't raised our glass to anybody this
sir.
episode so far, so I'm gonna raise mine to you, sir.
I
Job well
appreciate
done.
it. But no, it's fascinating because some more talking head stuff coming that I can't literally say anything about. But it's in a cool spot, and I say some cool stuff, and it's fun. Like it's a thing that allows me to like expand what I do. So it's really fun.
Yeah, you know, Marcus, before we go out, we'll get ready to get out of here, and I'm really happy you're on. I definitely want to have you back on before.
Oh, no doubt. Just let me know. Whenever you guys want me on, I'm here.
But I want to say before we're out, you interviewed Kara Escher. You used to do a podcast with me, formerly known as Zach Escher.
Yes.
I mean, I talked to her briefly over the past year as the transition going through. Like, really, I love seeing how she's gone from a house DJ to where she is now. How big she's actually getting.
Have her on the show, Marcus.
Right? She's actually on tour. She can't do it yet until she gets back.
No.
Really? She doesn't have a laptop and Wi-Fi?
Right.
Wood don't have a laptop.
She got a laptop in a hotel room with Wi-Fi and an hour to spare?
Have you met a house DJ traveling to California?
I hear words coming out of your face, Marcus, but they don't make any sense.
They're not computing.
They're not computing.
Marcus, go ahead.
With Kara in the piece from Mixmag, which was really cool. I've known Kara for a million. Kara's one of my favorite. That's my heart.
Oh, dude, I met her at one of our basketball.
Yeah, same as me. And we stay in touch. We talk about literally everything. And I knew Kara was transitioning before everybody else did. Like, I was like person number 5, whatever they knew. And I was like, cool, amazing. I'm like, whatever you need me to do, whatever like you want, whatever. I mean, it's already whatever, but especially whatever now. So then Kara reaches out and is like, hey, so I have this EP coming out, and you need to write about me because you're the only person that in the press that could really speak to it. And I'm like, okay, sure. And doing the interview was like this really amazing moment because I mean, it's not enough to see somebody rise, then to watch them transition as well after rising is this cool transference over the edge moment and you're just like, wow, just mind blowing.
We watched her grow up.
And
she's much younger than us, so we watched her grow up.
Yeah, exactly. And then what's even funnier is the piece took like, because all these pieces never come out when they're supposed to come out. So the piece took like 3 months to come out. And every week, Kara would be like, babe, when is it coming out? And I'm like, I don't know. And then I got one date and it didn't come out that date. And then Kara's like, well, it's not going to happen. And I'm like, honey, it's coming. Don't worry, don't worry. And then next thing you know, it comes out and she's like, oh my God. And then she like texted me like 5 things that had happened like right before the piece hit. And so it's like to have this stuff happen, you know, like the thing that happened. And then for the piece to hit at the perfect time to like then watch it springboard has been amazing. Like I'm so proud. It fills my heart.
Baby Wait is the Dolly Parton loving DJ who's here to take tech.
Cool. We're looking forward to having her on the show. Marcus.
You was bad.
Marcus.
Make it show.
All right, Marcus, you got any last words you want to say? Oh, actually, if you want to read any of Marcus's articles, you can go to this link right here.
Yeah, it's all there. I keep it updated. I have stuff like I come out with stuff like basically like I mean I write every day, but like stuff that's like past like the news or simple stuff like once every 2 weeks now, pretty much. Like it's a pretty good little run I'm on right now. So keep it up. But yeah, definitely check it out. At Marcus with the CK Dowling on all socials. Reach out to me. I'll talk to anybody. Like I'm really accessible. So like, yeah, feel free to reach out.
Right on, dude. Thanks again for being on here, man.
Marcus, I have a quick thing. Quick thing to say. I did not realize that you are a grasshopper, that you went to GDS.
I did.
I have a bunch of friends who went to GDS. I think they graduated a couple years before you.
Awesome. That's how I know them. So
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
What you mean grasshopper?
What?
What you mean grasshopper? Why should she call you grasshopper?
Because that's the mascot of Georgetown Day School.
You trying to be racist there, Jamie? He just muted himself.
He just muted himself.
That's
the first.
That is the mascot of Georgetown Day School.
Yo, and I think
Thank you very much.
And I mean, I might be speaking too soon, but I think we just made it through a whole episode without having to use a safe word.
I know, right? I almost did. I almost pulled out my my visual, but then I didn't.
What happens when we have an adult in the room?
Oh, is that right?
So here's funny. Like, when we were at One Lot Massive, him and I would go get assignments to do shit. I'd be like, I'm like the degenerate drunk one, and he's like fucking interviewing this famous opera singer and shit. I'm just like, what? And I'm still mad that you took the Marcus at OneLoveMassive.com. I had to get my initials and shit.
I remember that.
Oh no! Shots fired.
That's old beef right there.
No, it would never be between me and Marcus.
Never.
We've been through a couple studios. Me and Marcus have been through a lot in the past 6 years. So Molly actually started watching in the beginning. You know,
I love it.
so we
I love
need to get her on the show soon. But hey, one thing I do want to say, I was talking to our dear friend Caroline Phillips today. National Cannabis Fest is coming up.
The National Cannabis.
National. We will be there, selling our swag and whatnots, and doing a live podcast. We're streaming throughout the day.
I will just be getting back from Mexico.
Oh, then you won't be there.
So Jamie will be there.
I'll be there, bitch.
Jamie will be there just in time for us to wrap it up.
I will be there just in time for the entire motherfucking thing. This is gonna be fantastic.
Y'all
how goofy I get when I'm high. Y'all thought I was a piece of shit drunk on this show. Wait till I'm fucked up. Like,
I have it. You want it, ready to use it. Caroline will be back on the 8th of August to talk about it. We'll go through some more stuff, and we'll be dropping some stuff that she shares with us.
Excellent.
You guys. So, Marcus, we like to watch TikTok before we exit out because, you know, we're assholes and we need something positive to go.
Yeah, let's go.
So there's an artist or a comedian out of Silver Spring. His name's Martin something. But he brought some guy in town. And I got a couple of these clips, but I'm only going to shoot this one this week. I'll show another one next week. You'll get a kick out, but you'll understand once we start watching it. This is very Washington, D.C.
I took him to Northeast, and he's like, why is everyone trying to kill Mo? Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, what did Mo do? Anyone explain Mo to Matt Rife?
For real. It's a thing or a person, a noun.
No. I did not expect her to explain Mo to you.
Yeah, I did not expect.
Out of all the crowd. She's like, I gentrified Southeast last week.
I love Martin. Martin's my favorite comedian in the world right now.
Oh, yeah, he's great. I got a couple of his videos. Like, I just don't want to share them all at the same fucking time.
Don't blow your wad, yeah.
Exactly. This is the one that Val sends me every week. Well, not this one. She sends me one every week. Something Filipino.
Ever gotten pulled over was during the pandemic, and it was when lockdown was happening, so we had like really strict curfews. So I was supposed to go to work at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I was stopped by this police officer, and I got so scared because I didn't have a license. The cop asked me where the fuck I was going, and I was like, I'm going to work. How about you, Mr. Officer? Are you going to work too? And he fucking asked me where my accent was from. And I accidentally like stumbled back into my general American accent. So I said, the Philippines. And then he was like, excuse me? And then I said, the Philippines! The Philippines! You know, the Mexicans of Asia?
Ah!
The Filipino.
It's true. Funny because it's true.
You all shamey.
I gotta get some beers with some backs. God damn. Oh, that's a good racist. I love it.
But it's true. We're like the Latinos of Asia.
And even more industrious people.
More industrious people.
All right, let's go to some animal shit. Animal shit.
Really just gonna ignore the fact that killer whales give sharks PTSD? Welcome to Animal Logic, let's talk about it. Orcas are the most disrespectful animal on the planet, and that's exactly what happens when no one can check you. Other than humans, the only thing that can take on an orca and win is a bigger orca. Because they're the top of the food chain, orcas bully the entire underwater census, and they legitimately traumatize great white sharks. If Jaws happens to encounter an orca near their hunting grounds, they'll abandon the area for up to a year. And for good reason. Orcas actually figured out that if they flip over sharks, they can induce tonic immobility, paralyzing the shark while the Bundy dolphins take its liver, heart, testes, and probably its life too. Killer whales have been seen punching seals up to 80 feet in the air just like a field goal. Researchers believe they do this to either paralyze the seal or loosen its skin. But there's always that chance that these psychopaths do this because they find joy in putting a seal in the clouds. They're also intelligent enough to work together to create a wave that's so powerful that it knocks the seal completely off the ice.
I like the Bradley.
And just when he thinks he's safe on the beach, Steroid Flippo reminds him it's an orca's world and he just lives in
The
it.
Bradley
and even
of
though
the
they're built
ocean.
like an 8 to 12,000 pound equality symbol, they can launch themselves up to 15 feet in the air. Really bad news if you're about.
I didn't do that.
Oh.
Marcus. Damn it, Bradley.
Oh yeah. So Marcus, my nickname is Bradley, so my drunken self is me. That's my alter ego is Bradley. So.
So good. That was wild.
Yeah, orcas are fucked up.
So we're gonna talk about.
That guy gives me something so beautiful, and it's just like every time he says they'll press the delete button, I'll be like, "Yo, real shit," because what in the fuck is that animal?
We're gonna go flying. What would you do, guys?
What?
Go flying. What would you do, Val?
What? Marcus, tilt your
understand.
mic. Tilt your mic. I can't hear you.
If we're gonna go flying,
Okay, don't suck your dick. Like, just put the
we're gonna go flying, guys. What would happen?
find a fucking middle ground, dude.
Flying. Like
Flying?
in a plane?
Like
or like
Superman
by ourselves?
flying?
Because the sergeant looking up, our hero bravely answered yes, and then they stood him up. He jumped right out into the blast, static line on hook. He ain't gonna jump no more. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Glory, glory, what.
Oh, dude, what's fucked up is that it drops down and then you just see motherfuckers like scrambling.
No. I have severe arachnophobia. Severe.
And that is like reason number, I don't know, 300. Like that's some Australia shit.
Yeah.
That's a Aussie ass fucking. That's some wild shit. That's the kind of shit. Yeah, like I've seen videos of spiders like that hanging on the sides of people's cars in fucking traffic.
No.
Fuck that.
What?
No.
Yeah. Australia's brutal, dude.
Yes.
That dude that does the animal videos. Anytime there's some shit that goes down, he's like, it's real fucked up. He's like,
of course,
this has to be Australia. Like, it's everything down there is meant to kill you.
I hear it's beautiful, but I'm just not, like I get a little salty if a fly gets too close to my face. Like it sounds like a helicopter near my ear and shit. Could you imagine like a kangaroo roach spider, like just like crawling in your house, talking shit to you in like whatever the fuck native language they speak in Australia?
Dude, so check it out. There's a video. There's a TikTok that guy does that I didn't send this time because I figured I'd spare, like dole it out or whatever. But there's a video of this fucking one type of eagle. There's a segment. This motherfucking thing snatches a sloth out of the trees. It's that fucking big.
Delete button.
It's that big. It just is like, yo, sloth, what's good? Gone.
No.
Fucking done.
Man.
No, thank you.
Fuck that shit. I just feel like people be like, oh, you want to go to Australia? I'll be like, no, because like I don't like Philly, we got garden snakes.
I don't like spiders.
Fuck am I gonna do out there?
Nope, no spiders.
Like they gotta like flip the shoes upside down and bang on them before. I'm not gonna remember to do that shit.
No, thank you.
Here go my crazy ass. I'm in a straight jacket. I'll be jumping on the fucking airplane, jumping up and down on the airplane, jumping off the fucking airplane. I'll be like on my way back.
Hey, first of all, Jamie, you're black. You ain't doing none of that. The air marshal gonna shoot your ass. That Sky Marshal will shoot your black ass. You ain't getting on that plane, dude.
I ain't gonna lie. Look, I said in the fucking straight jacket because if I see a spider that motherfucking big, my day is done. It's over. Call it Lord
black ass. They ain't letting your black ass on no plane.
I'd be like,
shit,
laid out dead.
They gonna have to put me somewhere.
They're gonna be like, sorry, mate.
Right. Your voice. Yeah, you fucking right. I'm fucking crazy. You got fucking
sorry, mate. Not today.
Spiders, and I shit on myself, and I can't stop crying.
Not today, mate. You're gonna have to catch the next flight, mate.
There can be no next flight. I'm just gonna be bonkers. Y'all gonna have to leave me somewhere. I'm gonna swim back.
We're just gonna strap you to Ayers Rock and leave you.
Yo, that's not a night. That's not a spider. It's a demon. Fuck is wrong with you, big ass damn? Why are y'all still there? Like the fuck? Like
we got more. You got any more in the arsenal, Marcus?
I do.
Anything else from Jurassic Park?
I need a palate cleanser from that spider.
Cheese with my pizza?
Yeah, I do, honey.
I want an extra.
Oh, I love this book.
I'm just.
You want the actual lie or you want the actual fake? You know your lie still pending.
Oh God.
God can help you. He's still on the quarantine. You not have the vaccine yet. You know that?
I'm sorry, honey.
Don't sorry. Just love your life. And you swallow your lie right now.
Dude, when she kicks the first one up and misses it, but then kicks the second one up and catches it and throws it with that crazy ass.
In case you missed that.
Like I don't want to sound racist, but that was some kung fu, dude. I don't give a fuck. Dude. Like,
on the normal,
that was
the first shoe,
Lotus Palm, fucking La Chancla. I don't know how you say La Chancla in fucking Mandarin, but
yeah, I was gonna say,
but no.
What Tagalog, it's chanelas. That's what we.
She kicks it at him the first time. Then she kicks the first one in the air and throws it at him. If you watch the rest of the videos, that's what
rewind
she
that shit. Bring that beat back.
No, not this one. I mean, on her page, she kicks the first one at him.
I want an extra wipe with my pizza, honey. I'm just.
Okay, yeah. So she tried to kick the first one at him, but it didn't go. But the second one, she had that shit on lock. I wish we could slow mo this shit, dude.
No, I like the fact that she picks up the second one and walks towards it to catch it.
She kicks it up in the air. Hey, right,
dude.
And she walks towards it.
Oh, I mean, you got to step into that shit.
But that was the first shoe all along. It wasn't the second shoe. She kicks the first one up, catches it off the ceiling, kicks it from the. See that?
The first shoe's on the ground.
No,
the first shoe was the ceiling. The second one she like kicked with just enough room so that she could walk and catch it, which is amazing.
No. Watch it again. She kicks it up. It drops. She knees it with her knee.
No, the first shoe was on the ground, right behind.
The first one hits real quick and like falls down.
All right, let me see again.
Take them glasses off.
Look, that one goes down.
That's one right behind her. See?
Still gangster. I wouldn't fuck with
it. Your life is still pending.
Your life is still pending.
Oh my God.
So
What an extra wife.
in a quarantine. What type of shit is that? I'm fucked with.
All right, so we're gonna get out here with another favorite comic of mine. Talking about colonizers. We'll get out of here. Colonizers.
Talking about what?
What is it?
Talking about my people.
Okay, I thought you said colanders.
It's.
You
could be
probably
my
did.
Probably did. Oh, fuck you.
Colanders.
What, you're a teacher? That's what I heard.
Oh, I love this.
What do they teach in history books in England? Oh, they don't say, "Oh, we fucked up." Just every page after like 1,400. Oh, damn, we should not have done that. Just one giant apology. Fuck England. I mean that on two levels, on the history level and on an Indian level.
Did you see
Man.
years ago
That
where
dude is awesome.
like the prime minister or whatever it is in India was saying to England that they want their stuff back? They were like, yo, you stole it, give it back. And then they go to the curator of whatever museum in England, and the guy goes, no, it just walks off the screen.
No, but there have been a bunch of museums like in Europe or whatever that have been giving shit back to country. It is a thing that is happening now.
If they've got the vibranium, give it back. But what I'm saying is the fact that the guy
vibranium
and walked away cackling was funny as fuck to me. Like, no.
All right. Well, we're at 2 minutes and some change.
2 minutes.
2 hours. 2 hours.
Let's wrap this fucking puppy up. Jamie, any last words? Make it quick.
Oh man. Fuck.
That works. Good job.
Everything good. I miss you guys like a motherfucker. I went swimming today. And oh shit, this is what I wanted to talk about earlier. We didn't get a chance to do our stories. There is a weed in Colorado that they're talking about that if they've actually gone too fucking far, it's making motherfuckers sick. There's something to look up for that ass.
Huh.
There you go. Since I don't have anything to say, boo.
Okay. Val, any last words?
Do I have any last words?
Any sorry, I meant to say any rasp words.
Ha ha ha.
Ooh, take a shot. Take a shot.
That's a dad joke right there. No. I don't have any last words. I just would like my voice back at some point. Those are my last words. I lied.
Well,
anything else you want?
No, I just think that I'm glad to be on the show, and you guys are some of my favorite people, and I appreciate the opportunity.
We appreciate having you on. We love everything about you. I love what you're doing. I love your journey. I've been watching the past since I met you, past 5-6 years. I'll keep continuing watching.
Thank you.
Your fly-ass outfit that I'm extremely jealous about.
Put clothes on, man.
All right.
What you got for me?
Gonna make this real brief. This is something that I happened to see right before we went live as I was kind of scrolling through shit for the notes. This weekend was CPAC. And for those of you who don't know, CPAC is the Conservative Political Action Conference. It's where all the racists and homophobes and xenophobes get together and talk about making America great again. And one of the attendees this year, a certain famous pseudo-Kardashian by the name of Caitlyn Jenner, was there and was very upset to have been booed and heckled and dead-named and treated in a way that, like, I'm like, I don't want to see anybody treated that way, but when you go around certain groups of people, thank you, Marcus. Hashtag, what the fuck did you think was going to happen?
Right.
Oh, shit.
And I'm good. Thank you. Marcus, take it away. Shout out to Deep Eddie with this horribly sweet.
Oh, is that grapefruit? Oh, it's peach. What is that? Peach?
Yes. Damn you, Austin, Texas.
We have the grapefruit. It's great with soda water.
Yeah, I definitely wish I'd gotten some soda water. This is a battery on the fence.
It's too sweet.
Who told this bitch it was a good idea to go to fucking CPAC? That's all I gotta say.
Yo, I mean, they were running for office. Like they thought they were gonna run for governor of fucking California.
Well, that's just plain stupid.
Yeah. So it's like this is what happens when you live in a world where no one tells you no except for Kris Jenner.
All right, Marcus. Wait, you're a cultural fucking journalist.
Yes.
Which Jenner was it?
Caitlyn Jenner, formerly known as.
Which hip-hop star is she dating?
Oh my god, Marcus.
What are you saying, Marcus?
Just bing it, dude. Just bing it. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, dude. Stop.
Yeah. Stop now.
Stop,
you don't
dude.
get it. You don't get your last words.
Just stop.
You don't get any.
Sign us off.
You don't get any final words.
Marcus.
Rocket Man. Oh Lord! Now you just.
They push me on Main Street.